Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well, wherever it is that you may be around the world. I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty poo day in London, in the UK. It's pissing it down out there. I got soaks, my hair's gone flat, absolutely flat. Big up to everyone that's already here, though. Over 18 of you already. You know what I need you guys to do? Smash the like button, subscribe. Also, if you're new, share on your socials as well. We're going to be discussing. We're going through the overall talk on Chelsea, what we've seen on socials, Twitters, journalist updates, etc. We're going to talk about Sal Niguez. We're going to talk about Jules Koundé. We're going to talk about Antonio Rudiger. We're going to be talking about Chelsea's summer targets as well. Not only players coming in, loanees that could potentially come back, our preferences. And then we're going to ask the question, Declan Rice or Tchouaméni? Again, something that I want to do is go through a little bit of stats and talk about them on an overall basis, give my opinions on each individual. It's going to be a big show. Lines are going to be open. Panel's going to come on as well. We're going to have a big chat. Minerals FC will be on at some point as well. So big up everyone already in the chat. Get them likes up and let's cue that intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. I hope you guys are well. And what we saying all? What are we saying all? I think I can already see there's tons of people in the chat 1 minute in, over 30 views in. I will go through the chat before we start delving into Chelsea talk. Like I said, the lines will be open as well. I want everyone to express their opinions and thoughts, not only on the summer targets. We're going to be talking about potential loanees coming back. What should Chelsea do? What players should Chelsea bring in? And who shouldn't we bring in? Who should we not bother bringing in? Like I said, we're going to be picking and choosing between the likes of Tchouaméni and Declan Rice. We're going to be talking of the likes of Conor Gallagher. We're also going to be talking about Amado Broja as well. There's going to be a lot to talk about today. And it's just an overall discussion to understand what we think is best for our football club and what we think that our board should do. What our board should do. But let's see what people are saying in the chat. Big up to John. He says, #1 fan from Kenya. Love you more, Blues for life. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Ben, which is Man Like Wheezy, the John Cena Mount Defender. Big up to you, my guy. Vinny, good to see you, bro. Big up to Top Bins as well. Owain in the house. Good to see you. Noah, big up, bro. Predictions for PSG Madrid. Big game tonight. I'm going to try and watch it. I'm going to go with a Madrid win. Madrid win. 2-0, 3-0, bang. Now I'm joking. 2-1 probably. Probably be like 2-1 or something like that, to be fair. Guys, please get the likes up. There's 18 already. Let's try and get to 30 likes as quickly as possible. Big up, Gemma in the chat. Big up to you, Declared Man. It's been a while. Hope you're well, brother. Big up to Devin in the house as well. Owen says congratulations on winning the Club World Cup. Thank you very much. It's nice to hear that from a fellow Liverpool fan. Very nice to hear that from a fellow Liverpool fan. Chloe, big up to Chloe in the house. Big up to her. Big up, Jim. All the minerals. Ben also says, get the likes up. Let's do that. Minerals, yeah, could be knocking on the door. He did ask for that link as well. We heard that our fan was shot in Abu Dhabi. Really? I didn't hear this. When did this happen? Big up to Nathaniel in the chat as well. Says, big up, Jem. Oh, come on. Of course, bro. Like I said, the lines will be open. It'd be good to get you in as well. Just going to go through a couple of stuff like I always do. And then we'll open up the lines early and let the panel get involved as well. D-Stretch, big up to you. Big up to Leslie, Fraser as well, Jem. With this board, I feel we signed wrong players in the summer. Shit scout. True. However, depends. Not only does it depend on signing wrong players or bringing players in, it depends on Chelsea and how they get rid of the deadwood. Because getting rid of the deadwood, then we'll unlock the wage bill, bring the wage bill down and allow Chelsea to concentrate on targets. Now, there might be a lot of players going out the door. We've got the likes of Aspie, Christensen and Rudiger's contracts that are still up in the air. Do Chelsea try and work to maybe make something work with Rudiger? I don't know. I still have a lot more hope in maybe sorting it out of Rudiger than I do with a potential someone like Christensen or maybe an Aspie. With Aspie, I think because he's won everything, I could just potentially see him just moving on and finishing off his career back in Spain, which is fine. You know, I'm down with that. It's not a problem as long as you bring in the crown jewels, you know, the crown jewels Koundé. So we both hate Liverpool, G. They are a disgrace. What have they done? What have they done now? Big up to Matt Smith as well. Fraser says, in summer, I pray Alonso Barkley are gone, then I can relax. Well, apparently, and I read this, Marcus Alonso's sitting there saying about how he wants to stay. Marcus Alonso's sitting there saying, do you know what? You know, I've got a year and a half left on my contract. You know, I could stay. Ben Chilwell, I know in the back of my mind, is not going to be coming back anytime soon. And yes, that means I get game time where I'm getting paid a stupid wage. Why would I want to leave? If I go anywhere else, I'm going to take a huge pay cut. And it makes no sense. And this is why I keep saying to you guys, they run their contracts down, man. They're not stupid. Would you run if you didn't have a great career for a football club, but they were paying you stupid money because on the back of where you come from or how you improved, you know, they gave you this, like Chelsea gave you this big wage roll of like 6 to 7 million a year, and you've got a 4 or 5 year contract. Are you in your right mind going to go and move to another team that's going to give you half of that and probably be less competitive than Chelsea? And do you know what I mean? You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. Let's be serious, man. Yeah, Big up to S. Featley TV. Says big up, Jem. Congrats on the World Club. London is now blue, sadly. It has always been blue, unfortunately, bro. Unfortunately for you guys, it's you know, since the 2000s, we've taken over, bro. We've taken over. Hassan, big up to you as well. Says well, if Alonso wins the Carabao Cup, look, I want Chelsea to win, but in the back of my mind, I've got Alonso sitting there going, well, if I win this Carabao Cup, I'll go down as one of the greatest players ever at Chelsea because I've won it all. Doesn't work like that, Alonso. But yes, he's got a point. I don't know, Ram. Terminate is if no one buys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even trust my ball to do that. Start terminating contracts left, right, and centre. Yeah, get rid of you, Barkley. You're shit. Alonso, you got a year and a half, but you're not good enough, mate. We need to free up that wage bill. Fuck off. Joey, just start cutting everyone's bills off. Do you know what I mean? Marina deserves an L for that, giving Alonso that wage. Yeah, but then you think about it. Alonso under Conte in that formation, mate. It was like fucking Roberto Carlos, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Big up to old Joe as well. Says big up, bro. Premier title next season. 2 cool matches. Top 2 managers. Klopp in the quarters of the time. Yeah, it'll be big. All right, let's move. Let's delve into things, yeah? Let's delve into things. What we're going to talk about first. I know what we're going to talk about first if I can find it. Where are you? Well, let's start with this. And it is to do with Chelsea. Chelsea have made the decision to not keep Saul Niguez beyond the end of his loan spell. I mean, honestly, guys, does that actually surprise you? Does that actually surprise you? Because it doesn't surprise me, man. It generally doesn't surprise me. Like, even though he's been and has got better, don't get me wrong, and I think his performances have improved, I still think that if we're going to bring back someone like Conor Gallagher, Billy Gilmore, and these players are going to come back in and try and compete, then you can't have a Saul Niguez here who's sitting on 190 to... Someone told me it was between 190 and to 210 grand a week. Like, it makes no sense. You've got a fourth choice midfielder who is sitting on an absolutely ridiculous wage when you can bring Conor back or you can bring Billy Gilmore back in, and they won't even be nowhere near that sort of wage. So, do I think Saul Niguez has improved his performances? Yes. Do I think he's useful? Yes, to a degree. Do I think he deserves to stay at Chelsea? No. The only way Saul Niguez stays at Chelsea is if he agrees to take a wage cut. That's the only way. And we've sold off a lot of the other deadwood. But then again, we then want to bring people like Tchouameni in. This talks about Declan Rice. You bring Conor Gallagher back in. Chelsea might not get rid of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. So then you've got all these other midfield options, and it doesn't make sense to continue him here in any way. I'm trying to think of a way where we can fit him in. Even if we get rid of the deadwood, we're going to bring in, whether it's the loanees that have gone out and done well, whether it's Tchouameni, Declan Rice, or both, who knows? Like, it unfortunately don't make sense, mate. It doesn't make sense. 120k a week we don't pay full, is what Hassan's saying. Ram is saying he's a dead player. That's why we wouldn't pay the money for him. He's so dead for 200k. No way I'd pay that for likes of Goretzka. Yeah, but then again, I think someone like Goretzka would easily take or demand probably more than that, to be fair, especially in the prime that he's in. Why Scott McCackling needs. This is why Scott McCackling needs to be replaced as chief of scout. Get rid of this useless scout. He scouted Sal for 2 years. Listen, we've had this talk. We had a show on here where we reviewed, and you remember it. You must remember it. We reviewed the scouting team because it was very easy to point the fingers at Marina, but it's who is around her doing their jobs, going scouting. Who are the head scouts? And when you got people like him, and you got people like Ross fucking Turnbull, our third choice goalkeeper, as one of our main scouts across Europe looking for talent. Ross Turnbull, yeah. Like, what the fuck? That's just what I'm saying. It is a bit peak. You know, I would say let Peter Cech just pick what he picks, because bringing Mendy in was a world-class signing, mate. That's what I'm going to say. Quite surprised none of the legend Chelsea players just got into the scouting. Relevant to being like management or in the hierarchy, they could have just got into the scouting. I trust them more in terms of the scouting than anything else. Do you know what I mean? Better not call Sal. Did you see the report of us possibly looking at former Barca director Roman Plains? Apparently he's got Gavi, Pedri, and I haven't seen that. Not going to lie, Luke. I'd like to know where you saw that, but I've not seen that. So Sal Niguez looks like a player that we will not be keeping at the club. So moving away from that, we are going to talk about players that could potentially be coming to Chelsea. And one of the players that is continuously been spoken about, not only this season but last season as well, is the Jules Koundé, the crown jewels, the crown fucking jewels, has decided he will have a change of scenery, and hashtag Chelsea are willing to do the rest. The Blues have made it clear they do not want to give up and are convinced that this time they will not fail. That was at Marca via Sport Witness as well. 2 big accounts. And again, it doesn't surprise me. The interest in Jules Koundé has been not only, which is what people don't understand, right? The interest in Jules Koundé has not only just been the last 2 seasons. Apparently, Chelsea have been scouting Jules Koundé for a good 3 to 4 years. This has been something that we've been doing over a long period, watching this guy. And now it's come to the point where we're looking at it and we're like, right, we need to look to the future. We need to bring in the best young talent out there, defensively, midfield, whatever. We need to bring him in. We need to get him in now. Try and mix them up a little bit with the experience, and then allow them to eventually kick on. Jules Koundé is one of them players. Definitely 101% one of them players. And especially if we keep Tuchel. If we can keep Tuchel at this football club, then Jules Koundé is a specific player that would fit how he likes to do things, how he likes to play things. And I keep saying to you guys, we have to bring in people like Jules Koundé now, this summer, to mix with the experience, the people that are still going to hopefully still be the likes of Thiago Silva, some of the experience, for him then allow them to kick on and him to be the one for the future, along with some other players like we may bring in, maybe Tchouameni, Declan Rice, and other names. But it's important that we look to the future. And we're getting to a point now. I look at this Chelsea squad and I'm like, right, we are going to need to start looking around, looking around in midfield, in defence, and strengthening for the long term. You look at people like Jorginho and Kante, they could be gone in the next 2 seasons. Thiago Silva could be gone next year, even though he's extended for next season. By the end of next year, going into summer, he could be gone. We could be losing Christensen and Aspie. Rudiger's still a bit up there, hoping we can keep him as well. Chelsea are at a point now where the so-called core, even though I don't think we have a spine, the so-called core is pretty much ready to kick on, maybe move on, do things differently, go and play elsewhere. And if that does happen, we need to plan forward. That might, in a way, make us take a step back in terms of challenging. Don't get me wrong, because if we're going to bring people like Conor Gallagher in, Jules Koundé comes across, Declan Rice or Tchouameni comes in, and we lose Jorginho or Kante, and, Christensen and Aspie go, and then we've got the forward issue where they're all inconsistent and we're trying to, might have to get rid of a couple of them. Like, there's a lot, what I'm saying is there's a lot that still needs to go on, but Jules Koundé is a player for me that Chelsea have to sign in terms of his versatility and being able to offer what he offers, play at the 3 at the back, 4 at the back, wherever the hell you want this boy. We need that. We don't have enough versatile players, hence why we get people like Reece James to play not only right wing back, but central midfield, and then left wing back against Brighton and gets injured because he gets overplayed, because we haven't got enough players that are versatile enough to do that. And that's why this summer is important, that Chelsea not only get the right profile player, but they get players that can adapt. And Tuchel, because we know Tuchel likes to switch. So being able to switch will mean having players that can adapt to different systems. And on that, Johnny is with us. What are you saying, Minerals?
Yeah, big up, Jim. Big up, everyone watching. Like and subscribe and all that jazz.
What do you think about what I just said there?
FC. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I think, firstly, before I say anything, Mason Money Minerals Mount's built differently, bruv, to anyone else in our squad. That's the first thing. But what I'll say to what you said, we need players that are versatile now. We need players that Tuchel wants and can play in various formations within games that can change without having sort of an issue. If you look at Man United, for example, Man United have got Ragnick, and Ragnick likes to play obviously a similar kind of way to what Tuchel's so-called being taught, but I think Tuchel's the master really. But the way he wants to play, he hasn't got the players to do it. And someone like, say, Luke Shaw just cannot play wing back. Wan-Bissaka cannot play wing back. They're just not good enough. They're not versatile enough. They're one dimensional. I think that's what you need to play Tuchel ball. You need players that are versatile and able to change within game situations. And that's why I say, Lukaku's a prime example of not being that player. Alonso can't play left back, but he's a great wing back. He's another one that's one dimensional. Yeah. I think, like you say, you buy a Koundé. A Koundé allows you to play different systems. He can play wing back. He can play right centre back. He can play right back. He can play centre back. He's extremely versatile. I don't even know if he can play DM. He might even be able to play DM. But I just think like players like that give Tuchel a lot more options. When he does have injuries and issues in the squad like we've had this season, which could happen next season, he'll be more equipped to deal with them situations. And then we can keep players that are brilliant in their positions to stay in their positions, like you said, Reece James and that, who can play where we want him to play, where Tuchel wants him to play. But the bottom line is you've got to sell. I don't think you can sign Tchouaméni, Rice, Koundé, and a right wing back without selling first team players. You can't get away with it selling Barclays and Deadwood and Cobham youth players because there's not going to be enough income. You're going to have to, and also the squad size as well. Jorginho, Kante, they're not going to want to play second fiddle to a Declan Rice and Tchouaméni coming in.
We're going to get to them.
And likewise.
Declan Rice and Tchouaméni is the main topic. We're going to talk about that a bit later on because I've got some bits and bobs that I want to share with you.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
A player and that. But in terms of Jules Koundé, he's for me, I keep saying it, John, he's proper Chelsea, mate. This guy's wanted Chelsea for a very long time and he still only has eyes for this football club by the sounds of what we're being told. And I just think he's definitely a Chelsea-esque defender that could potentially be elevated in his game under a manager like Tuchel, because Tuchel, we've seen it, he can elevate players to a next level. And Jules Koundé's already got the talent. Trust me, if you've watched him, he's fucking talented, man. He just needs someone
a baller.
Back him. He needs someone to back him. He's aggressive, he's quick, he's progressive, he can score a goal outside. He will shoot outside the box. The guy's not scared to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, so for me, Jules Koundé is one of the main targets that Chelsea should be looking to bring in the summer. But we're going to move on from Jules Koundé because I know there's people that keep saying they want to get in as well. We will get you in. I want to quickly talk about what else have I got here? Let's save that.
Well, I think Jules Koundé depends also on what happens with Rudy and Christensen, because
I still think he comes though, don't you?
I think he does, but I think one goes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about Rudiger, obviously, just quickly, Fabrizio Romano was saying, obviously, Tony Rudiger on his Chelsea contract situation. I feel great here. I've always said it. I think the way I play, you can see that I'm happy here. But there are also other people who have to make decisions, he added. So what do you think he means from that, Johnny, when he says that? Because
he's talking about Marino and the ball, and the offers that... look, they're not going to pay him I think he wants 230 or something,
He wants
240.
225 or 230, something like that.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
I think the absolute maximum they're going to go is probably 200. They're not going to go above that. So it's going to fall on. Basically, it's going to fall on Rudiger if he's that happy at Chelsea to accept that wage. Where the issue will sort of come in is what clubs go in for him and might offer him that 10 grand more a week or 20 grand more a week, which is what he wants. If Chelsea, don't sort of play to that and stick to their guns, then I think Rudy could potentially leave, because at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, it is about money. Football is about money, and this is his big contract. So I want him to stay. But at the same time, I think Chelsea, the way they work is when it comes to players that are currently on contracts, they're less reluctant to offer the big contracts to those players, even if they're performing. But when they're signing players, so say they go in for a Koundé or a De Ligt, Koundé they'll get on less wages regardless. So that's not really a good example. But someone like De Ligt, who could be a potential replacement for Rudiger, right? They're going to have to pay big wages to entice him to sign for Chelsea. But the one thing you get with De Ligt is a lot more years on his side. You've got a young player, someone that Tuchel can mould. So it's like Chelsea wait up and say, what are we going to get? If we're going to sign Rudy on a 4 or 5 year deal, well, it won't be 5 years. Let's say 4 year deal on 220 grand a week. Yeah, that's going to equate to X amount. Or we can play De Ligt, more wages, yeah, but we've got a player for the next sort of 6-7 years who's going to reach their peak. So it's down to the board. Bottom line is he's basically saying, if the board offer me the money, I'm going to stay. If they don't, then the next offer that comes in, I'm going.
This is why I feel that Christensen going to Barcelona looks like it could happen. Aspie leaving at the end, think will do, because he's won it all. He'll probably want to end his career at Spain. I respect that, but to let Free go, it would shock me that Chelsea board would allow that. But at the same time, I don't think we would, and that's why I do think that we will compromise. Out of all of them, I do think that we will compromise with Rudiger, on this, especially because of the form he's in and how important and integral he is. When you hear Tuchel being asked about Rudiger and his contract, he's always got a grin on his face, and he's always like, he knows how important he is to the football club. He knows how important he is to the squad. Tuchel just he just seems very confident. I'd say confident in the way that he is, but maybe that's just the way he is anyway. But
that's another thing you've mentioned, because Tuchel loves Rudy. So if the board don't sign Rudiger, that's not really backing Tuchel, because Tuchel's requesting them to keep Rudy because of how good he is and important he is to the way they play. I think like we saw with Lampard, I want to make this point. When we saw Lampard, he made seven additional signings. Let's say 6, because Sarr went out on loan. But when you make that many signings all in one hit, and you're expecting Tuchel to just gel them automatically, it's not going to happen. That could detriment our title challenge next year. Whereas if you make 3 additions, then it's a lot easier to ease in. But selling Rudiger, who's a first teamer, all right, without a doubt. Christensen is a first teamer. He goes. Aspie's in and out because of his age. So Aspie's it's not going to hurt us too much. Obviously, it's going to hurt us because he's an absolute baller and a legend, and he's got the minerals. But at the end of the day, he's not too much of a loss, because we know he's at the end of his career, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But with Rudy and Christensen, you'll bring in Koundé, so that will substitute one of them. I don't think Silva's going to play as many games next year, so you're already down there.
I think
you're gonna have to pay for another. You basically have to sign 2 centre backs, but one that's versatile. So Koundé, obviously very versatile, isn't he? But the area that he's going to need to buy is
Chalobah.
You got Chalobah. So of course you got Chalobah. Yeah. So that fills in that department. So Koundé could be with James could be an Aspie replacement, and depth at the same time. And then you got Chalobah, Thiago Silva, and Rudy if he stays. But if you sell Rudy, That means you've got to bring in a De Ligt or someone like that, or that guy from Bayern Munich. You've got to bring someone in. So then, is that
But
going
then
to
you've also got
hinder?
people like Malang Sarr, and I know he's not been great, but
Yeah,
he still
he's
does a
good. He's
job,
good.
doesn't he?
Yeah,
You
of
know what I mean?
course.
So
You've got him, but you've got to you've got to make sure that who goes out and who you want to bring in doesn't affect the players that you really
players,
need, like
yeah.
Declan Rice and Shermany. Do you know
But
what I'm
that's what I
saying?
worry about, Johnny, and this is why I keep saying about Chelsea probably have an idea of where they want to go with Tuchel in this summer window. But when you've got contracts that are still up in the air and the potential you could lose 3 defenders and some of the forwards may want to go Werners or Z, I don't know, which could
Well, I
happen.
think
You know, like,
Lukaku should. I think Lukaku should be sold. He's on
well,
the highest wages.
well, listen, yeah, I know he is, but what I'm saying is it then diverts their attention from what's important, and there's more important. Do you know what I mean? Because then they have to. We haven't got the numbers in defence, so they've got to concentrate on sorting out. Not only can they not being enough, like you said, we might have to look for someone else. And then if Ziyech and I don't know Pulisic decide to leave, just say for example, then we need some forwards, you know,
Well,
and then we forget
you
about
might
the
get
midfield, we forget
Dembele.
about the wing backs that are important. Do you know what I mean? And like I don't know, man. I just think we
Yeah,
could.
but Jem, if you get
Oh,
Dembele, Dembele's versatile. You can play left and right. You can play wing back as well. You keep Cho, so those two can cover that job, right? And you can buy a wing back. So Dembele's on a free, and they'll negotiate the wages because Marina's she's got minerals in that respect, yeah. And then if you sell Werner or you sell Ziyech and you sell Lukaku, that frees up wages to go and get. You bring back Broja because I think Broja is class. I
really
think
gets
he's a great talent. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's someone you bring back and let Tuchel just work on him and
Yeah.
develop him because he's clearly built for the Premier League.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And on that basis, I just want to quickly, before we go on to the talk and then we'll open up the lines a bit as well in regards to Shumeni and Declan Rice, there's this comment here in regards to possible Chelsea players next season. And when you look at this is what I wanted to review with you, actually. There's some real top names there. And you think to yourself, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them players are all loanees. The only way we bring back most of these players is if we also get rid of the deadwood. You know, because Billy Gilmore coming in with Conor Gallagher, and you've still got Ruben there, Barkley there. Do you know what I mean? Like, Kante and Jorginho, I think one of them may leave if we bring one of them in as well. That could potentially happen. Like, a lot of people still have to be moved on for us to be able to look to bring in. I have a summer window like that from what he's shown us. Because I'm out of Broja, as much as I love him and I think he's a top player, I still think rushing him back in into Chelsea after having one very good season might not be the answer. Yeah. Not just yet.
I think
You know,
if you take note how Tuchel loves Gallagher, he's probably looking at Broha and thinking the same thing. And I think he'll bring Gallagher back. I think he will bring Xavi Goatmore back because those guys, like we saw this season, right? Everyone's short to forget, or they're quick to forget, should I say? When we lost Kante and Kovacic, Sol wasn't up to it, all right, because he's not built for the league. And then Jorginho was forced to basically play with back pain, all right, in that midfield crisis period where we dropped points and we struggled. If you had a Billy Gilmore and a Gallagher, you're completely covered in that department, completely covered. Now, for me, those two have to come back. Maybe I would have Gilmore back over Gallagher personally. I think Gallagher was stocked up in that department.
some people think Gallagher's better than Mount, Johnny, at this rate. So
Nah, he's a good prospect, but he's nowhere near Mount level. I mean, that's just nonsense. But at the end of the day, Gilmore is a player that we haven't got. We haven't got a player like Gilmore. Someone who can press, who's progressive, who's got a final ball, who reads the game, who's quick, who can sit, he can push forward. He's got all the minerals, the kid. He's a perfect player. He was sought after by Barcelona before we bought him because he fits their profile that suits their academy. And that tells you all you need to know about a player like that. We haven't got anyone like that. Jorginho's not like that. Kante's not like that. And Sol's not like that. Kovacic ain't even like that. So you bring him back, he adds a different ingredient to our midfield. All right. Gallagher is more of an 8. He's not a pivot player for me. So in this system, you could bring in you get rid of Sol, you bring back Billy Gilmore, and I think you're going to sell either a Jorginho or Kante to bring in a Rice or Shermany. That's the way it's going to go.
Sal goes. If we look at the midfield in terms of who leaves, for me, it's got to be Sal. It's got to be Barkley.
He's definitely going. They said yesterday, I think
I would actually send Ruben Loftus-Cheek on loan personally. That's what I would do. He doesn't get the minutes.
Yeah, he's not there yet. Yeah.
And then you potentially lose either a Kante or Jorginho. That's 4 players gone. And then you've opened the midfield to bring in a Tchouaméni, a Declan Rice. Conor Gallagher could even come back in that mix now because there's competition there for him. I think him and Mason Mount could work. You look at Billy Gilmore. When you think about losing Jorginho, I actually do think that Billy Gilmore's not the new Jorginho, but the one that replaces him in terms of what he does on the pitch. If that makes sense.
He's a new gen. He's a new generational version of a Register. I mean, he's a bit of Xavi, he's a bit of Modric. He's young, but he's got a lot to prove. But he's bulked up, and he's proved already at a young age when he burst on the scene. Firstly, at a high level. Right, you put him in with our squad and he will excel. But my thing is, I want to squash this because everyone's like, oh yeah, we're going to go. We're after Rice and Tchouaméni. It's not Chelsea are not going to be able to buy both of them. Like it's one or the other. It's not going to be both. If it is both, then you're going to have to sell both Kante and Jorginho essentially. Yeah. Now, on the other thing with the pivot, what you mentioned, with Gallagher coming in and playing with Mount, that's not going to happen. And the reason that's not going to happen because if Lukaku's still at the club, all right, he's going to be on the bench, mate, because you're going to have Kai Havertz, you're going to have Mason Mount, who are predominantly going to play, all right, and I think Lukaku is one that stops and blocks our progression as a team to play the way Tuchel wants, and I've always said it. If he goes in the summer, that for me is back in Tuchel 100% because it was never his signing. And then he can actually bring in a Broha. He can bring in players that are versatile, who are fluid, that can play in all different positions. And to back my point is when we played in the Club World Cup, bruv. When we played in the Club World Cup, all right, he took off Lukaku, 70th minute, all right, with 20 minutes to go to try and win the game. And you saw instantly when Werner came on, what a difference, and Ziyech, what a difference. With Pulisic and Kai, everyone was all over the place, all interchanging with each other. There was fluidity. We had more possession of the ball, and that's how we wore them down and won the game and got the penalty. That's my point. You can't play like that with Lukaku. It's not going to happen. So you've either got to accept, or I've got to accept that he's going to stay, and we're not going to see that type of football. It's going to be very, very intermittent, and that's going to affect players like Gallagher coming in.
I don't mind. The thing is, I don't mind Gilmore coming in, but then I do think still we have to get a Tchouaméni or Rice. So I think that would be a good
you will. Yeah. Rice and Gilmore for me would be. I mean, you've got everything there in the middle of the park to win that Premiership title, mixed in with Kante, mixed in with if Jorginho does stay, because for me Georgie's world class. Like I'll be very sad for him to go.
I think he's a very limited player that does what he does best. I don't think there's many people that does what he does, if that makes sense. It's very weird.
He's a specialist player. He's not many to compare him to. That's what I'm saying. He's the best in the world in his position. There's no one like him that, like I say, Gilmore has the potential and the minerals to. I've seen it with Gilmore. He controls games, mate. It was all about his physicality. That's where Czech mentioned about him going on loan to get his physical presence on the pitch. Now he's got the strength. Now he's had the minutes under his belt in the league. Right, he's built for it. He can play in any league. He'd get into any top side in Europe, mate. He'd get into Manchester City's team with his eyes closed. All right, he's that good. So trust me, he's solid, mate.
So for me, Broha is a good shout, but if he comes in, he doesn't start. For me personally, I think he's a good backup. I don't think we have backup, and that's maybe.
I think he'd bench Lukaku.
He does give me a little bit of that Diego Costa vibe, though, just in his way he carries himself, which is quite cool. I mean, Jules Koundé is a definite for me. We're going to talk about Rice and Tchouaméni next, so we hold fort on that one. Conor Gallagher, I was very reluctant to bring him back in, but I'd only bring him in if we manage to get rid of players that we need to get rid of. Does that make sense? So, like, it depends on the board who we get rid of before we think of people like Conor Gallagher. Colwell,
he's a shout. He's a
yeah,
shout.
it is. But at the same time, it depends on the contracts, because if Rudiger stays and we bring in Jules Koundé and we still have Thiago Silva and Chalobah and Sarr, I don't think he comes back. Does that make sense? And not for the next summer. But if we lose all three of them, then you're thinking to yourself, right, you bring Jules Koundé and you've got Thiago Silva, you've got Chalobah, Sarr, and then maybe you bring in Aloni, and maybe we have to buy one more. I don't know. But it depends with Colwell for me personally.
Colwell's one that you can ease in like he did with Chalobah, and it's down to him to perform on the pitch. But I want to just quickly go back, because I've seen people in the chat about Gilmour. Yeah, I think you need to remember, this kid's won 5 man of matches on every debut competition he's played in, and that's at international level as well. Yeah, This kid is the real deal. He's different gravy. He's a special player, and if he's under the right manager, which Tuchel is, he will bring out serious meals out of this kid. All right. Yeah. You just wait. Remember, I told you this when you're all singing his praises. He's an absolute baller, bruv. Absolute baller. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and on that note, over 190 of you here. Smash the like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can follow Minerals on Minerals FC on Twitter as well. We've got a donation from Gio. Thank you, Gio. It's been a long time, bro. He says, big up, Gem. Chelsea should stay away from De Ligt. He struggled in a slower league, and Tomori has surpassed him in development by a landslide. And that's coming from an AC Milan fan, right there.
But also the way Juventus play, I mean, doesn't do it. Look at him in the Ajax team. Was completely different De Ligt to how he plays at Juventus. And, that's a very slow league. They're a very defensive team that like to play counter. For me, I don't think he suits that league. I think he's built for the Premiership for me. I think it'd be a great signing.
So I am going to open up the lines, guys, straight after I just quickly go through what I've got to show you in terms of Declan Rice and Tchouaméni. Now, I know Johnny's always been on the Declan Rice sort of side of things. I've actually pulled more to the Tchouaméni side of things from what I've seen, but I still wouldn't mind Declan Rice. So I want to just compare them as players quickly. And obviously that I'll give you my thoughts and opinions as well. When you look at these stats, right, and this is going up to Jan. So, all right, it hasn't included this month's, but that's fine. I'm looking at certain key stats here, and I'm not really a massive stats fan, but you look at assists, for example. So Declan Rice is on the left, Tchouaméni's stats are on the right, all right? So his assists are a lot better in terms of percentile, so 70 compared to Tchouaméni's 39. In terms of passes attempted, he's only got 56 percentile compared to Tchouaméni's 73, so Tchouaméni's passing attempts better. His completion isn't as good as Declan Rice. He's on 88 compared to his 58. And then you look at the progressive passes, and the reason I wanted to bring this up was mainly because of this. I see Declan Rice carry the ball. After reading his stats, it kind of confirmed my eye test as of both of these players. When you look at Declan Rice and the way he plays the game, in terms of taking the ball forward, like carrying the ball. Sorry, progressive carry.
Yeah,
he is levels on Tchouaméni, because if you look at it, he's on 86 compared to Tchouaméni 67. So he does it a lot more in overall games. But where Tchouaméni is better than Declan Rice, based upon what stats are saying, and it's quite high as well, is the progressive passes forward. So once he picks the ball up, he looks forward and it's bang. And that's something that I think we do miss. But at the same time, we do miss that carriage, because Kovacic does it very well, but no one else really does it as good. Now, if I had to choose between the carrying or the progressive passing, I would probably say the progressive passing, just because I think if you've got forwards that are in pockets of space in between the midfield and defence, and they need the ball quickly so that we can transition quicker, and Tchouaméni's doing that because that's his game, then I think it makes sense. It makes sense to have someone like Tchouaméni. Not to say Declan Rice wouldn't do it. He might come at Chelsea and he might just do it quite comfortably. But it seems like Declan Rice likes to carry it forward more than actually release the ball quicker than maybe Tchouaméni. That could be because of the way West Ham play, and that could just be because of the way Monaco play. Does that make sense? It might be just that might be just be the case. But then you move on and look at dribbles completed. They're not too worried about it. 66 to their 69. They're pretty much near enough the same. And then you look at the tackles, because it's improved. Now, it's interesting to look at the tackles. Now, Declan Rice's percentile since January 7th, this guy's done it from, is 48. Yeah, and Tchouaméni's is 98. Like he's got a very high percentile in terms of tackles and interceptions compared to Declan Rice. Now, Declan Rice in interceptions, you could say is pretty much the same as Tchouaméni at the moment. So you could say that the interception levels are the same, but what ain't is the tackles. And when I look at Declan Rice at West Ham and I actually watch him through games, that's actually surprised me because I don't see him.
Yeah, but that's because he sits, Jem.
Well, no, he does. But what he doesn't do, I think, as well, is I think he doesn't find his position on the pitch as well. So what I'm saying is, when you look at the tackles and you think of Tchouaméni and his percentile, he's finding himself in positions where he knows he can make that tackle or win the ball back.
Yeah, but
what
I think
Declan Rice would do. So
I think that's to do with what's his name? Who's the guy that plays next to him? Suchek. Yeah. See, if you check out his stats on interceptions and breakup play, and maybe they're higher than Declan Rice because Declan Rice is more of the progressive player.
Now, no, 100%. Now, just to finish off, because I know I'll let you go straight after that. What I'm trying to get at to you guys is whether you want Declan Rice or you want Tchouaméni, there ain't really much difference. Yeah, the difference will be the value, and whether Chelsea deem that the value.
There is a difference.
Well,
there is. Yeah, there's more than that. Trust me.
But for me, if Tchouaméni's 80 million and Declan Rice is 100 million, I think they're going to go for Tchouaméni. I think personally, I do think they'll still look at the money, but at the same time, it depends what they can negotiate with either West Ham, Monaco, and what they get down. But in terms of the player profile and looking at the player profile as we have just now, getting either or is not the end of the world. People will just worry about getting a player from Monaco because of Bakayoko and think, it's going to be a worry. I don't see that, but it could happen. The same with Declan Rice on the other hand. People look at Declan Rice and go, well, he's Premier League proven. He can walk into Chelsea and he can do it. But people forget one big thing. The big thing is the levels from West Ham and Monaco to them playing for a Chelsea are completely different in terms of levels of competitions, what they're up against, the demand that when you come on and you play for this team, you have to perform. You have to put that yourself, money. So I don't think there's a right or wrong answer in terms of Tchouaméni, Declan Rice. I think it is going to fall down to the value of the players in the summer. Whether, say, Declan Rice and Tchouaméni end up being the same price, you might see that they go for Declan Rice.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Right, for me, it's clear that Declan Rice is the first choice. That's the first thing, and the reason I say that is because last year, they did want to go for him, right? And if he wasn't the first choice, or they didn't think that they had any chance in buying him next year, they would have gone and got Tchouaméni for 40 million, which is what they could have got him for. Now, because they've waited and they used that PR stunt with Czech to say, we're going to let him progress in France. That is now his value's gone up by maybe 20, 30 million, right? So now they're going to have to pay more money, which isn't that much less than what Rice will be. Now, for me, with Rice's stats are better for me. You might say that Tchouaméni's better at the forward passing and that, but if you put Declan Rice with a player like Billy Gilmore, his job role will be that passing role. Declan Rice will be carrying it, and they'll alternate. I think it's the mixture. It's the mixture of what Declan Rice gives you, right? What Declan Rice gives you that Tchouaméni cannot give you is, firstly, he's proven in the Premier League. He knows the pace. He knows the league. Firstly, he's played enough. He's played a lot of games for West Ham to know how to play in the Premiership. Tchouaméni, big up. Tchouaméni doesn't know that, yeah? Tchouaméni doesn't have that experience. He's going to need time to adjust. Chelsea ain't got the time for a player to adjust, especially if he's going to go on 70 million. Now, Declan Rice is clear as day, proven in the Prem. That's the first thing. The second thing is he knows the roots of Chelsea. He's a Chelsea fan, and he will do everything for that badge. Not saying Tchouaméni won't, but I'm saying you're buying a player who's already got the DNA and the roots of Chelsea Football Club.
But that's all fine. But what I'm trying to get at, and I know your argument for Declan Rice is strong because that's who you want as your preference.
Well, I'm happy with either, to be honest.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say to you is, I don't think there's any real right or wrong answer between the two. Personally, when you look at what I've just gone through in terms of their abilities to in different ways. When you look at obviously Mini, he's a better ball progressor massively to what Declan Rice is, which means when he gets that ball, he's thinking to get that ball forward quicker. Declan Rice, on the other hand, will pick the ball up and he will carry it better. So he will drive it forward and do a bit what Kovacic does, for example. What I'm trying to get is, I don't think there's much difference when you look at them too much. I just think there's differences in terms of how they play the game. They're not. People say they're the same. They're not the fucking same. I see.
Yeah, but for me, Declan Rice he's stronger in every department. We haven't got a player like Declan Rice. Like he would slot. I know, but with Rice, he slots in straight away. Tchouaméni for me, he's going to need time to adapt. Don't tell me that he's going to come from League One and just dramatically adapt to our Premiership. Nah, I don't think he will. Most French players, like I'll give you an example. Henry, who was a great, took about a season for him to adapt to the league. And
what about Makalele?
What about
Makalele was in his prime, bro.
What do you mean? Did he have time to adapt?
What about Kante?
Oh yeah, I wanted to bring up.
What about
Kante? Listen, Kante came to Leicester for 2 seasons and then won the league. Yeah,
but you know Gallagher, yeah.
What about Hazard?
Hazard. Yeah. You can bring me players that have done it. Great, but I'm saying to you, I don't think Tchouaméni will just come in and slot in and adjust to the league straight away.
So it's your opinion. So it's
only
your opinion.
Yeah, it's your opinion.
I don't think.
Hold on. This talking point's kind of getting out of hand, yeah. Because if you had to pick, right, who's going to adapt? If you had to put your money on someone, who's going to adapt easily, right? You're probably going to do it on Rice. But it shouldn't be the main talking point. This is the only talking point that.
No, it is declared.
Hold on. Let me finish. This is the only talking point, and the fact that he's transfer wage too.
You can't wait another season, bro. You can't wait another season.
This is why I brought up the stats for you guys, because it's also what they bring as a player. They're not the same. So what did Chelsea need right now? That's what I'm trying to get.
What Chelsea need right now is a player to like rotate in and out with Kante, because our season relies on Kante.
We actually need
we don't need Declan Rice. His price tag is.
I mean, based on statistics alone, I feel like Tchouaméni would be good because look, guys. In terms of tackling and progressing.
Declan Rice already said he wants to play with Kante, bro.
Get Tchouaméni now.
So what if he says
I don't care what Declan Rice wants. Nobody cares what Declan Rice wants.
Listen. Look, you lot are all Tchouaméni stands. Fair play to you, yeah. Fair play to you. But I'm telling you now that the number one choice is Declan Rice, mate.
I'll tell you. That's a lie. That's a lie.
It's not a lie. Because like I said to you, if Tchouaméni was number one, hold on a minute, bruv. If Tchouaméni, was number one choice, Chelsea would have gone and bought him last year for nothing. Now they're going to have to pay double the amount. Explain to me how that makes sense, bro.
And Johnny, can I ask you something, right? No, wait, Alex, can I ask him something, right? Can I ask him something, yeah?
He was starting to me, was it?
One at a time.
Let Hassan speak, bro. Because you.
I was gonna ask you something, right, Johnny? Has Rice improved under West Ham because they're currently 5? Yeah, exactly. So then wouldn't his price also increase as well?
But Rice last season, if we bought him, he would have slotted in same, and he would have progressed even more.
So based on your assessment, last time it was 100 million
evaluation.
80 million.
No.
That's
West Ham's valuation. That's West Ham's valuation.
But that's Monaco's evaluation.
No. Monaco's valuation was about 45 million last year.
Okay.
So and Chelsea didn't want to pay it.
Hold on. West Ham evaluation, it was 80.
I want to say something.
Well, you're going to wait until we finish talking, then you can.
Why? Answer me why Chelsea didn't buy Tchouaméni last year then.
Answer me why we didn't buy Rice last season. Answer me why we didn't buy Rice last season.
We were too busy trying to get a striker.
Exactly.
It wasn't. We're too busy trying to get a striker.
So if we didn't buy for 80, so now we're gonna buy for 100?
No,
you're not going to get. You're going to pay him less, bro. He's on 1 year less.
No, it's not
he's
1 year less.
Are you?
And Johnny, sorry to break your bubble, but he does have an option to extend.
He doesn't have a 1 year left.
Bro, if you let me finish instead of fucking going on, yeah.
No one can hear again.
Let me land this, yeah. Let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you this, yeah. I'll tell you how it is. Last year, Declan Rice was almost on a 5-year contract, so they could warrant him going for 100 million, and that's with the add-on, yeah. So he was 4 years with an add-on. Now he's 3 years with an add-on. All right. So he's 1 year less.
So we're going from 5 years to 4 years.
No, but when you have 1 year, are you stupid, bruv? When you got 1 year less on a contract, bruv, you can go down on your demand of a player.
Rams, let me get this. Listen.
Johnny.
Let me educate Johnny.
I love rattling all of you, man. You know that? I love it.
I'm agreeing.
Everyone, calm down. Just let me say something because this is.
1 second. Callie go, Nathaniel go, Ram go.
This is pointless to argue about. So I'm just gonna hit everybody with fucking quick logic. Cop Shu and Mendy now. Wait another year. Rice's contract will then decrease his overall price. Then get Rice.
So Rice isn't going to go. You think that Rice is not going to go this year?
I hear that.
You think?
Absolutely positive.
You ain't positive, bro.
He's not
well,
going.
You don't think Man United, the Man City are after him?
I mean, if he gets Champions League, well, he'll probably stay.
He's not going to get Champions League. He's not going to get.
They're fourth right now. They're going to.
My turn.
Johnny,
he's not going to get Champions
Johnny,
League.
what did you say yourself? Right? Rice is a Chelsea fanboy. Yeah, he wants to come to the club.
But he wants it now, bruv.
I know he wants it now, but listen to me. I guarantee you, if the club go to him,
I don't know. They're always fucking noisy.
You're evaluating.
Listen, go on, Nathaniel. What you saying, bro? Go on.
Yeah, I'm actually on Johnny's side on this one because Rice, he's only got a year left. His price is going down. We should get him. Alex, you're mudded, man. Listen, don't know what you have against Rice, but if we get him for a good price, he's going to be.
I don't really have nothing against
him. He's already a Chelsea through and through, and he already.
How? What is he doing in West Ham if he's through and through?
He's a play for us.
No. Explain me. What is he doing at West Ham if he's Chelsea through and through?
He's balling out. That's what he's doing.
He's playing for his club that bought him.
You're in the mud, man. That's what it is.
Does anyone have any talking points based on performance? Because all you guys talk about is transfer fees, whether he's Chelsea through and through, and how is he going to adapt. Does anyone have like ball completion, some stats?
Exactly.
And
I mean, Jeff put it on 5 minutes ago. Guys, one at a time.
I'm bored of hearing the same stupid talking points that I heard last year about Chilwell. Everyone thought we're going to pay so much money for Chilwell. They wanted regular and Tavares, right? Just talk about how the player. It's hard to compare the players side by side because they're playing 2 different leagues, right? And it's hard, right? I get it, but talk about the characteristics of the player and how they can fit, and let's have a proper debate. Not on the
declared on that point, on that point, that the way we got Chilwell, bruv, the way we got Chilwell is because we went in for Reguilon while we were negotiating with Leicester, and Leicester got worried that they were going to lose a lot of money, so we got him 50 million. Now with Declan Rice, we know he wants to come to us as a first choice. That's the first thing, The second thing is Chelsea are confident that they can get him for around 80 million, and they're prepared to pay that. And that's going by Matt Law, who you lot suck his knob,
Johnny.
So at the end of the day, it's clear as day for me. If they're prepared to pay 80 million for him, right? They're going to go.
There was never.
Guys. Let Nippon speak now.
Hold on a second. There was never ever a report saying that Chelsea is willing to pay 80 million for Declan Rice from Atlas.
That's a lie. You didn't want to go and watch it, did you? You didn't want to go and watch it.
I know.
Alex,
that's a lie.
How do you even know that? If he comes into the team,
you don't know shit.
Just ask
a lie. It's a lie.
The journalist said it, Alex. I don't know what you're waffling, mate.
No, man, you waffling. I said it was a lie.
Don't watch it, man.
All right, guys. One at a time. Guys. Let Nippon have his say. Let Nippon have his say. Then we go back to the
season. Why we did not pay last season? Why did not pay last season?
Guys, one at a time.
Russian.
Alex got. You know, no one wants to hear me. I might as well leave.
No, you Nippon quickly have your say, man. That's what I was trying to say.
Russian, if Declan Rice comes into
let Nippon speak, bruv.
Bro, relax, Minerals. My question's already in the air.
Let him speak, then we carry on with the debate. We'll carry on with the debate after.
All right, Russian. If Declan Rice comes into our team, right?
Done it again, isn't he?
Bro, I'm gonna speak, bro.
Let him speak, man. Let Nipham say what he's going to say.
Why do I have to give up my talking point when I already was
Showtime. He was literally waiting for like 10 minutes. He was waiting for 10 minutes. Just let him speak.
Everybody's been waiting to talk, bro.
Let
Like,
Nippon say one thing, and you can ask your point right after.
Yeah. Carry on after.
Go on, Nippon, bro. Say what you got to say, mate.
The question shouldn't be Declan Rice or Aurelian Tchouameni. The answer should be both.
Thank you.
Yeah, but if you do both, that means you got to sell Kante and Jorginho, bro.
Why should it be one or the other?
You got to sell Kante and Jorginho. No, but if you want to get both, let's say you get both, yeah, you're gonna have to get. You're gonna have to sell
somehow Newton is
and
not talking,
Jorginho,
and
bro.
the moron is talking. And
Moron, you throw insults.
I gotta be quiet to let Minerals
guys,
answer for another 10 minutes.
Alex, son, I told you yesterday, yeah. Fucking calm yourself down, mate. Yeah.
You know what, Nippon, could I ask you
sound like a right child, mate. For a 42-year-old, you sound like a kid.
What makes you think we get both?
Newton, go ahead. Finish it.
Look, we're champions of Europe.
Oh, he's lagging.
He's cutting out, but I was going to say, Alex,
Nippon, you're lagging. Come back in, right? Alright, Showtime, what were you going to say?
I gotta ask Alex a question. If Declan Rice is to come into our squad, how much is his weekly salary going to be?
Probably around, I would say around 150, 160.
You don't know.
150, 160, probably.
Yeah, ask Johnny, he knows.
I'm not gonna ask Johnny anything because Johnny he be talking
Showtime.
You don't like it, bro.
No, guys, let Kali speak. Kali is gonna say something out there.
Everyone gets rattled by the minimum.
I'm gonna answer his question. Showtime. He's gonna go for around 150 to 200K.
It's a quick thing, Cali.
No one knows nothing the minus.
For the last time,
I'm still waiting for someone to bring up any
no one
stats.
can hear
You can't bring up any stat. You can't compare both.
Guys, let Kali speak and then we'll go after. The stats were shown 10 minutes ago. The stats were shown 10 minutes ago. You can rewind the stream.
Does no one else have stats?
What do you want? Stats?
Let me speak. Yo.
No, but Kali was going to say something.
Does anyone have any stats? You guys are still talking
Guys,
about.
were you not here before when Jem put up the stats between the two players?
No, I'm not talking about those stats. I'm talking about, do you guys have any opinions on the characteristics or stats of the player?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
No, I don't want to hear about money. I don't want to hear about
That's what Jem brought up, bro. Jem brought it up.
Listen,
Money's the big factor.
One second. I already went through the different.
Look. That's not what.
In terms of the player.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Jim, that's not what he's saying. It's you two are talking about those stats. We want to talk about those stats. What you and that fraud talked about, that's your talking point. But we were lacking. We all wanna. Yeah, go fuck yourself. Yeah.
Big up Alex.
Really?
Yeah. Guys, not this stream, man. Not this stream.
We want to talk about
Alex, you're getting too big for your own shoes, mate. And those clown shoes are too big, bro.
It's already.
Jem, can I speak?
It's already started. The movement already started. Believe me.
So wait a second,
can I speak?
Alex. You want to?
I want to say.
Talk about them.
You two are talking about
It's the Alex
stats.
show, yeah. Cool.
Let me speak.
I'm telling you, man. The movement already started. Believe me.
Movement. What movement?
You will see soon. You will see soon. Believe me.
What are you threatening?
Jem, wait.
Alex, son. You threatening, yeah?
Freaking
man. Are you threatening, son?
Jem,
Alex, finish.
Don't throw insinuations, bro. English, you fucking
Mineral, shush. Let Alex talk.
Wait. Yo, guys, wait. So with the Declan Rice, yeah, I don't know what most of you guys have an agenda against Declan Rice and an agenda against Johnny, but just listen. Just listen.
It's the agenda against me. It's not about Rice, bro. It's just about me, bro.
This is the guy that calls him racist.
And this geezer, Alex, bro. Oi! You want to threaten me, son? You fucking DM me, bro.
Nobody's threatening you, man.
Listen,
man.
Alex.
You DM me, Alex, bro. DM me, man.
Jam, I beg you, man. I beg you.
It's early in the morning.
Johnny, we're all grown-ass men here.
Just mute everyone, man. Mute
Let me finish.
Feelings. You don't bring feelings to the conversation.
No, wait. So, Alex, you're trying to create an argument with everybody, but just listen. Rice coming in will help our team exponentially. So what's your agenda?
I agree.
What's your agenda, man? You just then why are you saying 100 million? You're not gonna get him for 100 million. We're obviously gonna negotiate a price lower. So come on, man.
Yeah,
Listen,
Is that
Marina's
your
gonna
point?
fight.
Is that what you?
wait,
Is that
no,
what you
I-
tried to say? Is
Alex.
that what you tried to say?
No,
Alex, hold on,
also,
hold on.
also,
Anyone
wait,
have
also,
any
My-
you're trying to create
Please, for the
arguments
love
for no
of God,
reason.
let me
Guys,
finish
can we
my
talk
point.
about Rice and fucking Shumeni?
Exactly.
Now. Can we just
I
fix
want
it?
I want to
I'm
talk
sorry,
about
get annoyed.
specific stats. What
That's
me
what
and
I'm
the player
about
want
to
to talk.
do.
The reason why I
Declan Rice is the
want
most
Uchimeni
interceptions.
over Rice is
Declan
because of the
Rice,
passing.
Rice,
That's
Declan
why I
Rice is the
don't
most
want
interceptions in the
Jorginho
Premier
in the
League.
There's a
first
good
place.
start.
Declan Rice is the most interceptions in the Premier League. Talk about that, huh? Talk
He
about
wins
that.
you the league.
That's
straight
what
away.
I want to
Listen.
talk about.
Listen,
Jam,
let me speak.
can
Let
I
me
have a
speak. Let me
second,
speak
please,
because
to
I'm
finish?
tired.
Okay, he's
Oh,
done.
let
1
Kali speak.
second.
I'm tired of this bullshit. Let me
Let him
speak real quick.
fucking finish. For
Jem,
fuck's sake, it's so
I got you.
stressful.
I got you. Listen, this is not
Can I?
worth fucking
The,
arguing.
for
Go,
fuck's
Alex.
sake,
Go,
let
go,
me
go.
finish,
Alex,
man.
Go, Alex. Go.
Can you put the stats back, please, Jam?
Yeah, man.
This is the quietest it's ever been.
Yeah, when we do this, it makes me not want to bring everyone in. It just annoys me because I
I
can't.
don't
No
think
one
you
hears
should.
you. No one can hear
Jim,
anything.
bro.
Everyone's
I
shouting
think you
over
should
each
do
other.
it like 4 at a time or something, man.
Just vibe
Look,
rules,
Jam.
not the minimum.
The key thing what you pointed out, what is actually the difference for me.
Yeah.
Same thing, because the reason why I want Jorginho out of my club is not only because the way he holds the ball,
Yeah.
his weakness, it's a common, but also lack of long passing, the forward passing, which is the biggest difference between those two.
That's why you got Gilmore to come in, bro.
Nobody asked you anything.
There you go, bruv. Gilmore's coming back in, mate.
Let him finish.
Gilmore is going back on loan.
No, he ain't, mate. Dream on.
Do you see what I'm saying? That progressive passes and progressive carries. That's the reason of why I want Jorginho out. And if I'm gonna put those two on the same level and the same price and the same thing, that's gonna be the difference. That's the difference.
What is it, bruv?
That's what the fuck is wrong with this man?
You're all one click.
Johnny,
you Jorginho haters,
Johnny,
man.
let
You're
him
one click.
finish, bro.
Johnny, just please let him finish. Let him just get his point across.
You can't say 4 at a time.
Chelsea. Come on, guys. Why are we arguing on a stream?
I don't know.
We never do this before. What's wrong with you guys?
I don't know. Do you know what it is?
Come on,
It gets
man.
toxic.
It
just gets
I
toxic.
want to finish the
It's
point.
mine. One of the two, isn't it?
I want to finish my point. That's the reason why I want Uchimeni over Rice. But if we get Rice, I will be happy with it too, because he comes with the Premier League experience, what Uchimeni doesn't. That's the only reason. But it's my preference. If I want it, I would like Uchimeni because of his forward passing in progression, which Rice has, but he doesn't have long pass ranges. That's the only difference. But of course, it's a price.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it is the price.
But there's a lot more, Alex.
Fact is, he's not going for less than 90.
Of course,
Can
there's a lot more.
Can I land my point now, or
That's not a fact.
people gonna yell at
Let-
me?
let- let-
let
let-
Kali
He's not
speak
going
now.
for less than 90 million. Let's be real about
They'll
it.
get him for about
Listen,
80
Depends how much
No, they
Go,
won't. They
going
won't
back
get
to-
Oh
to
my.
80 million.
How do you know that?
But what does it
No,
matter,
they
Lewis?
won't.
How do you know that?
Oh,
Lewis,
guys,
How-
one out.
how long
Kali,
is his
Kali, go.
contract?
Hey, yo, how does this happen? I
He's
shut
got-
the
he's got
fuck
1
up
year
when
left.
everybody
He's got 1
wants
year
to
left.
land, but when it's my turn, it's like
Lewis.
fuck me, right?
All right, go on,
Listen.
Callie. Go, Callie.
This
One
is
year
all
left.
I'm trying to say. I'm addressing both points at the same fucking time. You want to talk about stats? Their stats are goddamn similar. The difference is exactly what Alex said. You want a more progressive passing fucking player? Get Mendy. You want a more
please.
defensive-minded player? Get fucking Rice. There you go. That's the stats. Let's talk about money.
Guys,
Fucking
I
Rice.
gave you
No,
that
don't talk
stat
about money.
breakdown
Keep talking about
about half
stats.
hour ago.
How long is
No,
Rice's
Jem,
contract?
I know you did.
1
but
year
I'm
left.
saying fuck
Like
me,
3
right?
years.
Listen,
What do you mean 1 year left?
Extend.
No,
It's not 1
Lewis.
year left.
That's a
Hold on.
fucking
It's not
lie.
1 year left.
He's got
That's a lie.
2025.
It's 1 year
his
left, I
contract.
Let me
Yeah,
fucking
2025. He's got 3 years
Alright, guys,
left.
let
and
Kali
he's
speak,
going for
man.
less than that.
Just don't interrupt
Go,
him. Let him
Callie.
speak.
Go, Callie.
Lewis,
Go.
I'm gonna address what you're trying to say.
Go.
He does not just have 1 year left on the fucking contract. That means if we want Rice this year, he's going for fucking 90 mil minimum.
Exactly.
And listen, I don't want to
He's
get
not.
listen,
He's not
no,
70
Nathaniel,
Hey,
Nathaniel.
can
let
anyone
me finish.
tell
Let
me what's
finish.
based on?
Please,
Tell me
please.
what's based on.
Did you
West
say
Ham
what it's based
evaluation.
Based on
on?
West Ham
There's been
evaluation.
multiple sources
Wait,
saying
wait,
that his
wait,
price is
wait,
at
wait.
100 million.
Guys,
maybe
let
even
him
above
finish
that.
first. Let him finish, and then we all talk. Go on.
They said Ben Chilwell was 80 mil.
You said right now, what is that based on?
Yes.
Tell me why we didn't cop Declan Rice in the last year. Just give me that
No,
answer.
I'll just
only
tell you because
Declan. Only
every-
Because he was on a
talking point-
4-year
hold
deal,
on.
bruv.
talking point for
Wasn't
Chilwell
the
was that he was
Bills
going for
didn't want
80.
to buy back an academy player for that price?
Hold on.
Guys, before you go, contract expires June the 30th, 2024. There you go.
A talking point for Chilwell was that he was going to go for 80 mil, and everyone
so
used
he's
that
got-
as they're using it
he's
now,
got 2
and as they
years
use
with
for
an
every other
extension.
transfer. So please
2
stop.
years, and we can get
Don't worry
him.
about
We
your
can
money
literally get him
anymore.
60 mil now. 60 mil,
Declared,
70 mil.
here's what I am saying to you. You're talking
can't
about
be wrong, yeah?
Hold on. You're talking about negotiating. So if they negotiate West Ham out of their price, fucking cool. But if West Ham do what fucking Aston Villa did to City and said you're gonna pay us 100 mil or fuck off, then we're fucked. So how about this? If
We're
we
not
negotiate the price lower, cool. Get Rice first. But if we don't negotiate the price,
you
you're fucking
lost.
lost.
Very unlikely.
Marina could do that. Marina is the best.
There's been no negotiation
But
Can I
anyway.
just quickly say something?
But Declan, can I quickly say one thing, right? The whole difference is between Chilwell and Rice. Chilwell's head was gone as soon as he's linked with Chelsea, so I think it pushed him to the point where he had
Rice's
6
head's already
months.
gone.
Yeah, he had 6 months of
Lots
bad
of
form,
desperate
and
to
they
come,
pushed Leicester. It pushed Leicester to negotiate.
If Rice
But
does the same thing, is he the same? There's no negotiating.
no, Rice is
These are
wanted
just
and he's
numbers
playing
thrown
to his
by
level.
media.
Rice is playing to his level.
There's no negotiating going on.
Listen, wait.
So don't worry
Rice
about
literally put a
numbers no
transfer
more.
request in summer,
Because that can be
so we can get him
changed.
for like 60 mil, 50 mil.
But don't worry about
We're gonna put a
numbers no
transfer-
more. Just talk about the players.
But
Right,
listen,
if Rice,
that's what I was
hold
doing.
on.
People
If
brought
Rice,
the
if
goddamn
Rice
numbers
has
up.
got 2 years, bruv, yeah. Rice's contract finishes in 24, right? Is that what you said, Jem?
25 with the
24
option to
June,
extend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
24 or
without
25?
25
June
with option.
2024. It says on here.
Right,
That's his
so
original. He's
Hassan,
got a year.
bruv, let me hear from Jem.
Got an
bruv.
year
Jem,
extension. Go on, yeah.
Jem, is it 24 or 25?
Right, so when I looked on Transfer Market, it says the contract expires June the 30th, 2024.
Right.
So
Is there a
24
potential to
Hold
extend
on.
for a future year?
I think
Yes,
there's an option
for
as
1
well.
year.
Because I think there is
Yeah,
one there.
yeah.
Right. So my
That's
point
what
I
I
was
was been trying to say.
yeah.
The 2 into 3.
Oh my god, my point I was
Let
going to
Johnny
say,
speak,
yeah,
man.
is fucking. Fuck's sake, man! You're fucking. My ears are fucking going. They're burning, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying, bruv? Like, one at a time, man. Fucking hell. Ever since you lot come on, yeah, you've all been trying to come at me, yeah, instead of
Johnny,
fucking talking about football.
you
So
interrupted
just
me.
1
I
second,
still
bruv.
haven't
Just
finished
one.
my point.
Shut up,
Hurry up
man.
and finish your
Fucking
point
hell.
then. Hurry up and finish your point then.
Well, shut up and I will, bruv.
We've
How
been
about
waiting
that?
for 5 minutes, bruv. Hurry up.
Wait, I've just
me,
fucking
bro.
Hey,
I've
Ram,
been able to
wait,
speak 5 minutes.
Ram.
Hurry up,
What are you
bruv.
talking about,
Fucking hell,
bruv?
man.
Wait,
What are you
Van on
talking
here?
about, bruv?
Why is Van on
We've
here?
been waiting for 5 minutes.
Listen,
Hurry up and finish.
Listen.
What's
Yeah,
Van doing here?
are you ready, bruv? Are you ready? Yeah, are you ready?
Go.
Get your timer out so you can fucking take
I
see
am
how long
timing
it
you.
takes,
You
bruv.
interrupted
Alex,
me.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
All right,
All
so
the
if you
time,
shut
keep
up,
ready.
then I can carry on, can't I? Yeah.
Someone's a bit
So
angry.
Declan Rice is on 2 years with a year extension, right? Which is a year extension, which he's not going to sign. He's refused to sign it, which means that puts us in a better position to actually sign this fucking player for less than 100 million. And if they don't get Champions League football and they don't even get Europa League football, that is an even more bargaining tool, bigger bargaining tool for us to actually get him for less money. And that can happen with Marina. She will find a way. But I'm telling you now, Declan Rice is the #1 target. After that, depending on who they fucking will sell, they will go for Tchouaméni maybe as well. But from what I'm hearing, it's one or the other, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
I'm looking at the bench. Looking at the bench.
Hey, I'm not
Oh
like
yeah,
that,
I had to
Johnny.
go mega store before I came on.
That's
You
6
landed in a
minutes.
minute.
Big
So give me
Let's
1
talk
minute,
about
I'll
that
finish my
bomb
point as
crusty,
well.
man.
Like I literally.
Wait,
need 30
let's talk
seconds.
about.
Excuse me, what?
Oh, Jem, can we talk about how Ram's on here? The Liverpool fan, where's he? The Liverpool troll. Why are you on him?
Ram's going to
He's a
tell us
troll,
how
bro. He's
how
saying
you
much
want-
Chelsea
Have-
employs here.
Have you bought your tissues for next Sunday, bro?
Ram, you're gonna get battered.
What's happening
Ram,
next
you're getting
Sunday?
battered.
You must be mad. Andreas
back.
Christensen's dropping his third man
Lewis,
of the
this
match
guy's
in a row
got
on
tissues
your
for
club.
Sunday and for Wetteralls, bruv. He's got tissues for both
For
fucking
what?
sides,
For
bruv.
what? Oh, yeah,
Wetteralls,
for
bruv.
Yeah,
You're
bro.
an Aston
How does it feel that Tuchel's done everything that Klopp's done outside of England in 9 months?
Oh, outside of England, well done. He hasn't won a Prem. Well done.
Oh,
Win
congratulations!
a Prem,
One
then-
country and
he's
about
going
how
to.
many in
He's
the
going to
world?
next year,
He
isn't
hasn't
he?
won. He hasn't won. He hasn't won a
He's
league title
conquered
other than
about
PSG.
90 countries in this world, but he hasn't conquered
Bro,
England.
Ram,
yet. Oh,
Tuchel's
well.
better. Just
Bro,
accept
shame.
it. Tuchel's
Bro,
He has
better.
the whole
only
of the
done it in
world, he
Farmers
doesn't have
League, bro.
England.
He's only done it in the Farmers League.
Just
What about
because
Klopp?
Brexit
So
doesn't
Klopp.
mean England's out of Europe,
Is
bro. We've already
Germany a
taken
Farmers
England
League
with
with
the rest of
Dortmund? With
Europe.
Dortmund,
Hey, if
with
we have
Bayern
to verse
Munich.
Tottenham in the
Yeah. Keep
finals
talking
each
about
time, we'll
it.
always.
Yeah,
Yeah, you want to
Wendy being
find
the
the
best goalkeeper in the world ain't for
count.
everyone, is it?
Hey, Ram,
Not for everyone, bro.
Bro,
watch
Hassan
it.
and Mo.
Alex, how do you have this type of patience, bro?
Ram, you watch it, man. Wait, Ram. Don't come chatting.
I didn't say nothing.
Bad guy.
Nah, man,
Yeah,
shut
come in
up.
and
Damn, like,
watch it.
I haven't landed my.
You
I
shut
didn't
up.
say
You
nothing.
shut up.
I'm still
coming at
waiting.
me. I
I'm
haven't said
still
Ram.
waiting, Jeff.
bro.
Like,
You
it's
don't like
madness.
anyone
Oi,
else.
guys, one at a time. Yeah, let's go back to the
I'm your
topic. Let's
troll.
just go back to the topic now.
No, but the crazy thing is, you guys said let's
I'm
go
your
back to the
troll.
topic. I started 20 seconds in, then
Take
Declare
one to
decided
no
to
one.
fucking butt in and say it's not about the price. We can negotiate the
You
shit.
asked him the
I
question.
don't
You
know
asked him the
what
question.
point.
Chelsea,
You
Let me
asked him
land-
the
no,
question.
let me
before
land my
Callie
point since
goes,
I see
one
what
second,
this
one
means.
second,
gonna
one
sit
second,
here and
one
talk
second,
about,
one
like,
second,
price
one second,
again.
one second, one second. Before Callie goes, Chelsea are talking to Jules Koundé's agent in the last few days, and Sevilla are already looking around for a potential
Yeah,
replacement.
so it's
from Fabrizio
recycled news,
Romano.
isn't it?
For Christensen.
Oh no, it's now. Couple minutes actually. ago.
I know,
Listen,
but it's the same.
we
It's
know we're
nothing
getting
new that we
Koundé.
didn't know already. Is it,
Exactly.
really?
Nothing new. Nothing
He's
new.
coming.
It's the
Nothing
same
new.
old.
Koundé's coming in the summer. We know
It's
that.
recycled.
Yeah, he's
Whoever
coming to
that's
replace
from, it's
Ashley.
recycled, isn't it?
It's
just,
Fabrizio Romano, for fuck's
yeah,
sake.
so
Yeah,
he's
he's
just,
recycling.
he's just getting clicks, isn't he? He's getting clicks now
Yeah,
as you
probably,
speak.
but at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
there you go.
Like the Haaland
he's
news.
coming to Chelsea. The Crown
Alright.
Jewels is coming to replace Krusty the Clown, and we move. This guy.
Shush.
Listen, the smoke you guys are
He's
on.
coming
He
to
had to
replace
slip
Ashley.
it in. He had to slip it in,
Listen.
didn't he? He had to slip
Yeah,
it in.
anywhere he can
I'm-
try and get his AC slander rent free in
I'm
his
gonna-
head.
Guys,
can't be done.
I'm
please
gonna
let
you
Kali
guys
finish
argue
now.
because, like,
Sorry,
I've
Go,
never
finish.
seen a stream where you guys want one person for a minute land.
Well,
So
land
I'm
it,
going
bruv.
speak,
Just
man.
land it, bruv.
Just
Just
speak.
land it. Land it, bruv.
Just speak.
Land it. Hurry up.
Here's what I'm trying to. Johnny, you have no right. Shut the fuck
Just
up.
speak, man. Speak.
Here we go. Here we go.
Don't say no.
Listen,
No,
Oh,
you
guys, Johnny,
He's
just let him
halfway
finish.
across the
Just
world.
say
He's
it.
telling
Real.
people to shut the
Hey,
Guys,
Johnny,
guys,
this is your
This
moment.
is why no
Listen,
one ever
one at a
gets
time.
to land
I'm a
their
grown ass
point.
man.
Callie,
Don't you ever talk to me
20
like that.
guys, just
This
give
will
him
get
2
worse.
minutes to land his points,
When the
man.
Minerals
Go,
FC
go,
rattles
Callie.
a lot of them. There we go.
Johnny,
No,
let
it's
us
crazy.
finish.
You
got
guys
football,
have
man.
no
How about no
basic
one
decency,
talks?
no respect. People are talking. You don't know how to shut up.
You
And
just
then
told
when
me to
someone
shut the
else
fuck
says
up.
you,
You're
you
talking
get
about
offended.
respect.
No, let me land my point.
Fuck
Just shut the
hell.
fuck up and let me land my point.
Here we go.
Here's the
Another
point I'm
one. Here
trying
we
to
go.
say.
Big bollocks
Here's the
I
little
am.
point I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Both players are needed. We are going to get rid of Jorginho eventually. We're going to get rid of Conte eventually. We need both players. Right now, if the price is not too high, get Rice. If the price is too high, get Chouameni first, and then go ahead and get Rice.
Rice is
Both
gone,
are
mate.
necessary
Rice
for
is
the team.
gone,
Rice is not
bruv. You said that same
Man,
point,
let-
bruv.
No,
him
Manchester
land.
United. I'm telling
Johnny,
you now,
how can I
Manchester
land?
City.
You keep interrupting me,
Let him
You said the
motherfucker.
same
land,
point
Johnny.
about 20
Johnny,
minutes
just
ago,
let him
bruv.
land.
Oh,
Yeah,
Johnny,
20
man,
minutes
you,
ago.
Johnny, I swear,
no
I
offense,
swear,
Johnny,
slap
but you
the
talk.
fuck out of you.
Ali, you're not
It's
even speaking. You're not
ridiculous,
speaking about
man.
football, man.
No,
Finish.
fuck
You
off,
know, it's
man.
about football.
Anybody else can go. I swear to God, Johnny, don't
No,
ever
You
Callie,
see-
go.
Wait, can I say
go,
this
go,
is
go,
why
go.
no one speaks because fucking everyone gets pissed off and half of the
But it always
problem.
happens here.
You know what half of the problem is? This because we both do streams well. Half the problem is people just saying stop talking, but when you say stop talking, you're talking yourself.
Exactly,
No,
bro.
Someone else
Exactly.
comes in and says stop
Exactly.
talking, and you go round in circles and waste another minute.
And
No
the people
one
that say it's exactly it's the same
anything
thing
and
as stopping.
only
for the
Not at all,
control
bro.
your own voice.
Yeah.
You all
Yeah,
just
Callie.
focus on yourself, not speaking.
Ali, you speak
Yeah,
about
Whoever's
football.
got the
Thanks
take
for the
is going
lecture.
to make their point.
All right, let Callie speak.
Well,
then.
all I'm going
Lad.
to say is the stream weren't like
You
that when
see-
me and Jem were on, bruv. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
now.
because there's only two of you. You fucking
Relax.
idiot.
Oh, so I'm so happy you said that, Alex. From you being an older man,
Callie,
bruv.
go.
I'm
Wait
honoured.
a sec. Johnny, hold it
I'm
back.
honoured,
Callie,
bro.
go.
How can I go, Jem, when I speak 5 words and then Johnny wants
Just
to
go,
my
please. Just talk.
Go
Don't
on, man.
bring it
Go,
back
go,
up.
go,
Just
go, go.
Just go. Go on.
Based on the current circumstances, both players are needed. Like I said, I personally would prefer Rice, but I don't give 2 fucking fucks. Make sure you get one of them. I would prefer Rice based on our team and his defensive-minded capabilities. He has the most interceptions in the fucking league currently, right now, if we want to talk about stats. That's literally all I wanted to fucking say. You guys got the I'm not doing this today.
Join me in the quiet space.
Sure.
I've got a headache, man. Fuck.
You
I
got
know,
your time
man.
now. You gotta say some other stuff.
You hang on, mate. You telling me you come and control the fucking stream? Yeah, it's not telling me to control the stream. You try and control
Hey,
the stream.
Coca, when Jem was absent, I tried to control it,
Mate,
saying one
if I-
at a time,
if I-
but it was
if
hard,
I-
man. on.
I'm just
Son.
gonna say this point. I just want to say this one point. You're dream. You're dreaming if you can get Rice for anything under 90 million right now, which is why we go for Chouameni first. Stop It's West Ham United. You forget that there are rivals. You forget that they're trying to be where we are. They're not going to give us on the cheap.
I'll tell you why. Somebody on the street just said that we're willing to pay 80 million for Rice this summer. I know. But somebody on the stream said that we're willing to pay.
That's from Matt Law, bruv, not me.
That's me.
From Matt Law,
Yo.
Lewis,
I'm not lying, bro.
West Ham.
Hang on.
Stop saying that.
Wait, someone else can say something.
West Ham are struggling to
Let me say something about these small.
Wait, no, Ram, you can wait.
No.
West Ham are waiting.
Because you've been talking the whole time. I haven't had a word.
Chelsea, man.
Come on.
Jem, if you have to post backstage, man.
West Ham
Daniel over Rams because Rams is a Liverpool fan. So
speaking about Chelsea, man. West Ham.
Go on, Nathaniel. Go.
West Ham struggled to spend in January. They didn't spend anything because they're desperate for money. If we put in a bid of 60, 70 million for Declan Rice, they don't care about 90 million. They're going to.
But we knew they were desperate for money in the summer as well. And that didn't happen. So why is it going to be any different now? He's got better.
They
bought 2 players in the summer. What the fuck are you talking about?
January
67.
They've been struggling for money for the longest, and in spite of that, they still don't want to sell Rice for less than a premium. So why do you think it's going to change now? It's not going to change.
Because his contract's running out. His contract's running out. That's how I think it.
You don't care.
They've got
and wait. They would rather run down his contract because in the 2 years that he spends at West Ham, he could spend getting them to a higher position than they are right now.
Rice, baby.
Matter.
Rice, baby. Get me Rice, baby.
Okay, we'll see.
Baby.
Okay, Lewis, you might be right. We'll see in the summer.
Yeah, well, we will see in the summer. If it happens, I'll support him like I support anybody else.
You know what, guys?
This price is happening.
You know what, guys? We should.
This 1 year closer to his contract running out makes no difference at all.
Here we go.
In terms of his
bro. He's a troll, man.
Here we go.
No. Guys, let him land. Let me
talk. I'm starting to Liverpool troll right now. You know what I'm saying? If you have 2 years going into your last year of your contract, then it makes a whole fucking difference. If you got 3 years going down to 2, it doesn't make a difference. What is the fucking point if I can't say a fucking
Next person to jump in someone, I'm kicking. I'm telling you that. That's it.
Rem is actually right.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Let him
I know, Rem is right. If they can laugh like a little babies, but Rem is actually right.
Alex,
the contract is going down only on the 2 years and less. Before that, it's not. Plus, the guy is actually have plus 1 year extension that West Ham can trigger. That's how we did it with Giroud to AC. We triggered that 1 year extension. Yeah, that's why he wasn't happy.
All right, let me ask you this.
Nobody's asking you nothing.
Let me ask you this. I don't want to ask you, bro. You're a waffler, mate.
A quick thing on the small clubs, yeah?
I'm telling you.
This is not the Premier League of 15 years ago where you could just buy any player from the top 4 or lower. A lot of the money is now being pumped into the smaller clubs as well. That's why they're asking for valuations of £100 million for their best players.
Exactly.
I do not expect you to come in and say
facts about Ben Chilwell.
So wait a sec. Sports-wise is
Daniel, what about
The difference with Ben Chilwell. The difference with Ben Chilwell is that his performance has dropped as soon as the interest came
literally, Lewis, I said that. I said that 10 minutes ago. None of these guys were listening about that whole thing.
Rice is one of their best players. Chilwell, Leicester fans hold Chilwell responsible for why they brought top 4, which is why they don't like him.
Wait a sec.
We're not going to be getting 90 million, 100 million.
So there is an investment coming into West Ham now that will make them compete for top 2. So if you're thinking Rice is going to be an easy
listen, get me the Rolls Royce, bro.
I never said it'd be easy.
Get me the Rolls Royce with Gallagher and Mount and Gilmore, bruv, and we are cooking. We're winning the league, bro.
They won't sell
let's have it right.
Because they've got a back.
No Kovacic.
They won't sell him. It just doesn't make any.
How do you know that? We're not Liverpool. We're not Liverpool, man.
We're not Liverpool, bruv. We'll slot him in there.
We're not Liverpool.
talking about your own club.
Liverpool.
I know more
You don't
about it
send
than
on
you
players.
do.
So
The board can't send players properly.
Even Ramsey's getting high blood pressure, bro.
This is turning into a screaming
going
match.
Rick.
Don't let
Oh,
anyone
Jem, just put people backstage if you have to now.
Fucking hell, man.
It's not even backstage, Jem. There's a mute button. You can mute people
Just
yourself.
mute everyone, bro.
Just mute everyone.
Jem
when
can
you mute
do
him,
what he
they
wants,
take it off
bruv.
you.
No one tell Jem what to do. He can do what he wants, bruv.
Anyway,
you know what I mean?
Anyway. I don't want to be the dickhead that starts removing people because I will do that, and I don't want to be that. So I'm just warning you guys now. You do it again, I will start fucking dropping people out of this fucking.
Yeah, dickhead for your Christensen slander anyway.
Jem,
Jem,
just get rice, baby. Rice, baby. Get rice, baby. Get him in,
Yeah, you know what? Kick him out for that, bruv. Just kick him out.
Get out of here.
Yes, he's gone.
Listen, look, I've already told you before. Before you all come in here, they have different styles. You know, when you look at the player profile of what Rice is and what Tchouaméni is, you've got to think what do you think is best for our club at the moment. And when I think about the progressive element, what I think, and I agree with Alex, is that we miss massively is someone that picks the ball up and the first thing they think of doing is finding our forward line.
Billy Gilmore.
We rely too much on our wingers at the moment and our midfielders. Yeah,
Billy Gilmore, bruv.
1 second, Johnny. Declan Rice, you've seen the stats, me and you, carries the ball more than he does release it. That's what the stats is saying at the moment. He's a more
That's
of a
not true.
carrier.
Okay, that's what the stats are saying.
So just remember that. That's what I'm saying.
Billy has to Shabby Goatmore, bruv. Telling you, he's going to mud everyone, mate. He's going to mud everyone.
Listen, Gilmore
he
is
doesn't realise he's a young
He
Modric.
cannot even find the forward line at
Jeremy, you know what it is? You know what it is,
That's why that Dean Smith played him as a number 10, bruv. Yeah.
Based on
that's why my mate.
Yeah.
Hold on, Hassan.
Yeah,
that's why my mate. He was away at Norwich. Yeah.
That's why he's
watching, supporting. Shut up, bruv. Let me land it, bruv. Fucking hell, man. That's why my mate.
Another number 10 at Chelsea. That's what we miss.
Here we go.
1 second. Go on.
Right. So my mate, is a United fan. Went away to Norwich, watched Man United play Norwich, bruv, and he told me clear as day, Billy Gilmore absolutely run them fucking ragged, bruv. The whole fucking team. Ronaldo was bodied by this Spanish Iniesta, bruv. Yeah. So when you're laughing at Billy Shabby Goatmore, you need to reconsider your fucking opinions on him, bruv. Because I'm telling you now, when he comes back, he's balling out, bruv.
Yeah, because all I need to change my opinion because of you, mate. Oh, I'm changing my opinion.
He plays with Declan Rice, mate. He plays with Rice, mate. He's got the Rolls Royce next to him.
Gilmore is better than.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim, I was gonna quickly say, right, based on like the statistics and the profile of player, I feel like we need a Conte replacement, which is probably a Tchouaméni. I think with the Rice, but with the Rice situation, you could wait 1 or 2 years. He'll have a year left, and we could.
It's good you brought
start
negotiating.
He's gonna wait.
When you look at the
31.
1 second. When you look at the interceptions, comparison in interceptions, obviously Declan Rice and Tchouaméni are pretty much near enough the same. A percentile, 96% for Declan Rice, and then you've got 98% for Tchouaméni. So they both do a very good job at doing that. That's something that I'm not too worried about. There was something that we were talking about, Johnny, which was quite clear. Was it the tackles? Tackles. I mean, this doesn't really answer as to what though, but tackles. If you look at Tchouaméni's tackles, he's at 98% of the time compared to Declan Rice's 48. Now that don't surprise me, and I'll tell you why. Because when I watch Declan Rice, right, I sometimes think that he finds himself out of position too many times. Even though he sits, he's not always where he should be, if that makes sense. I think Tchouaméni is probably better at predicting where to be in terms of positioning, which is why his tackles are probably higher than what Declan Rice in that position.
Jim, I got some other stats.
Wait, I got something to say. Wait, I'll let you speak. I'll let you speak.
Okay,
hold on. What's it called? What's his name? Windsurf in the chat. Stop! Don't call my name up, man. You snake. This guy's always talking about me. So stop talking about me, man. Yeah, move on. Let's move on.
Hey, Jim, we've some stats that I've researched because I wanted to talk about these players, but everyone wants to talk about
Windsurfer. Keep talking about him.
Go on.
Yeah, fouls. Tchouaméni's way higher on fouls, miscontrols. Rice is better successful pressures and ball recoveries. So there is, with the tackles, there does come with a high amount of fouls. It's hard to compare because there's two different leagues. You got to look at Rice's league. So these are the stuff I wanted to talk about, and it makes them two different players. So the main point I wanted to make is which player are we replacing which player? You know what I'm saying? Because they're different characteristics. Like
Yeah.
if we lose Jorginho, who's better to fill that slot? And if we lose
Because-
Kante, because there is a case to make about Kante as well.
Declared, and this is why I said for Kante,
Preference,
Rice,
preference.
Chouameni, for Jorginho, is Rice.
Yeah,
I
let's
think
you
so.
guys don't
talk
think
about
that
it because
Kante
I
could
don't want to
slip
have
back
an
into
Hold on,
argument
hold on a
about
second.
who's going to be
Let me
cheaper.
ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you why. Why do you think if Jorginho is a sitter, so who's better playing in the sitting position?
Well,
Right.
this with no, but this myth about Chouameni not being able to play in a DM is a lie. A big lie.
Hold on a second. If you look at those stats, if you look at these stats that Jem put it up, and for sitter, what I'm gonna looking for is actually passing, not progression. That's number one, because you don't want sitter to progress. Number two, it's tackles, right? Because he's a sitter, so he needs to be defensively aware. That's number two biggest point to the defensive middle.
Did you not know that Declan Rice was a centre back? Did you not know that?
What does that have to do with the logic?
Right, so I'm going to land the logic if you let me. Yeah, I'm going to land the logic behind this.
Yeah, let Alex talk.
I'm talking about stats. I'm talking about stats, and he's like, "Did you know that the weather in Moscow is raining?"
Oh, you're hilarious. You're a comedian now.
Relax, Johnny.
No, I don't need to be comedian because you're the clown.
Johnny, you're the only one interrupting.
All right, Alex, go. Alex, finish your point. Go.
My point is, if you wanted to replace a specific player, for example, I'm thinking it's actually opposite. If Kante leaves, you need Rice because Rice is more progressive going forward, and he's actually how you say it. Suits Kante's role, like the way he runs, the way he goes forward. The other one, if you're replacing the sitter, and we need sitter DM, then the two things is because you don't want him to go forward, but you want him to be able to pass it forward.
Right, can I answer now, Jem?
For fuck's sake, I'm done.
All right, thank you so much. You're done now. So,
believe me,
with
I'm done with one.
With Declan Rice. When he was younger, he played as a centre back. That was his position, yeah. And he got moved into midfield, yeah. All right. Now with West Ham, he plays in a counter-attacking team, all right, and he's been put in the midfield. His duty
Did you
is
know
to progress.
that the stats in
Bruv,
Norwich?
are you having a laugh now? You moan about people interrupting, and you just fucking come in like that, bruv, with your fucking loud ass microphone the size of my fucking bell end, bruv. Yeah, right. Now just shut up for a second, bruv. Let me finish, yeah. All right, have you taken him out, Jim, or muted him? Whatever the fuck it is, bro.
No, just go.
Yeah. So basically, he's the reason I think Tuchel likes Rice is like he did with Marquinhos. Marquinhos was in that DM position and he used to slot in as a centre back because he plays centre back, and now he's that position. Declan Rice gives you that versatility that Chouameni don't give you. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is, at Chelsea, I don't think.
Did you know that Billy Gilmore is the stats at the what's the name at Norwich? He plays number 10, and my friend went to watch him, and he said he's a bowler.
Really, are we gonna mute this clown?
Right, go, Johnny. Go.
Yeah. So that shows one side of his game that he offers that Chouameni doesn't. Yeah, which is about dropping from forming into a centre back position. Because he's got that ability. So if he's sitting, I guarantee you that his tackling figures and his stats will go up dramatically. But at West Ham, he's not doing that. What's his name? Souček, whatever his name is. He sits and they alternate, yeah? So the work is shared. I think at Chelsea, if you have a Kovacic, Billy Gilmore in that position, or even a Kante, right, he will sit more and then they will progress the ball. But he might alternate, but not as much, yeah? So the stats will change with Declan Rice at Chelsea, the way Tuchel plays, but he offers you versatility. That's the difference with Declan Rice and Chouameni. Chouameni is great with his feet, as we've seen.
He's versatile,
we know he can play. Yeah, well, I think Declan Rice is more versatile than Chouameni, is my point.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much of you've watched of Chouameni. Have you watched him?
No. I've only seen clips of him, to be honest. But another thing, the league he's playing in is not Premiership League, mate. It's not Premier League football. He's going to need time to adjust, mate. And I don't think Chelsea have got the time, because next year they go and spend all this money. I'm telling you now, Tuchel has to win the title. Are you going to risk that on just sort of bedding in a Tchouaméni, and hopefully he does develop and adjust to the
Johnny,
league.
can I ask what you're saying? Who's to say that Declan Rice comes in and he takes off at Chelsea? What
100% he takes off. Yeah, I'm very confident.
He's taking off.
Who's to
He's
say
already reached his full potential.
He ain't reached his full potential.
He's
23 years old.
I think it's serious to Declan Rice's game that he still needs to improve. Personally.
He's not going to get any better.
Both of them players need to improve. Both of them. Both of them.
Jem, there's a 2% chance that Declan Rice flops. There's no way he's flopping. There's no way. He's ready.
We bought Bakayoko, bro. We bought Bakayoko
You can never say that because Jack Grealish is flopping.
No, I'm talking about Declan Rice.
That's true.
Jack Grealish say any player can flop.
Yeah? This whole Premier League proving
okay, Jack
doesn't work for everyone.
Yeah, it's a bit the pressure.
The difference round with Jack Grealish has jumped from Aston Villa to Manchester City, which is a massive jump. West Ham are better than Villa. No, West Ham are better than Villa. Yeah, they've been top 5 in the league, right? The last 2 seasons they've been up there. So he's ready to take that next step. I think for Jack Grealish going to Manchester City was a massive jump for him because he
barely works anyway. He barely works. Jack Grealish.
He's not very good. He's a lazy player. He's
a money guy.
Guys. Jem, is there any other topic to discuss because this will get too toxic?
Yeah, no, look, the only reason I wanted to talk about Tchouaméni and Rice is it was to just because I saw a lot on social media people saying Tchouaméni can't do this, Rice can't do that, and I thought it's worth just actually breaking down from stats what they're actually good at doing. And
Jem,
the short and quick answer is this: for me personally, whoever we decide to get, I don't think there's a right or a wrong. Personally, you might be a bit worried with Tchouaméni because of him adapting. That's the worry all the time with most players when they come across. I get that, but then I still think with Declan Rice, and I've watched his game, I do think he's a good player. I do. It's not that I don't like Declan Rice. I do like Declan Rice, but I still look at Declan Rice's game and I think to myself, he still needs to bed in and improve. So if he's coming in to replace a Jorginho or Kante, that means he's going to be starting most games, right?
But Jem, I don't think
Chelsea,
like I said to you at the start of the stream,
interruption.
Chelsea can't. No, I'm answering, Jem. I don't think Chelsea can afford. I don't think Jem that Chelsea.
When did you ask the question, Jem?
Fuck's sake, Alex, you're really irritating, man.
Alex, how old is he?
He's 42 and he's acting like a fucking.
Jem, can I just I'm trying to get in here too.
Can I just quickly say on this whole?
I can't even finish my sentence.
Johnny, wait.
You ever laugh there?
Hang on.
Alex, you're on camera, man. Come on, man. That's not a shame.
Can I just quickly say on the whole
God, man. Fuck
because he plays French football, quite a lot of the players that come from French football have more or less succeeded compared to the German league, the Spanish league, and the Italian league. So that's my rebuttal to because you think of Bernardo Silva, you think of Fabinho, you guys got the players to afford him time to adapt to this game. You got Kante,
right? Well, Tuchel doesn't have time, mate.
You got the players to cover.
Not if you sell Jorginho and Kante to bring Tchouaméni and Rice.
Why would you sell both?
And Kovacic.
Well, that might be the case if you want to get both. If they want both, then they have to sell both of them.
Sell Jorginho.
They're both on. You got to understand. They're both on 1 year contracts. Both of them. They're both on 1 year contracts. That is very likely it could happen that they both go.
I doubt that.
I don't think so.
Well, what do you think? Do you think Jorginho's gonna, when he's offered a big contract to Italy? Right,
he'll leave.
Chelsea, he might leave. And what if Kante gets a massive offer from Real Madrid? I'll tell you this now. Real Madrid will snap Kante out
because you being Chelsea, you'll increase their wages where they'll say, yeah, I'll be happy to stay.
Yeah, but they're on a 1 year contract. So by your logic that contracts don't matter, like Rice having a year less, right? Well, Kante being on a 1 year contract, he's going to get bigger wages, and the transfer is going to be maybe 30-40 million at best. All right, so that's where Kante can get bigger wages and go to a Real Madrid. Yeah, with Declan Rice, he's on a 2-year deal with a year extension, which West Ham will trigger, but he's not going to sign it. So technically, you're on a 2-year deal.
How do you know he's not going to sign it?
He's already rejected it, bruv. He's already rejected.
It's an option for the club, not for him.
It's an option for the club, not for him.
The club
Right. So even if it's 3 years, a 3-year deal, a player on a 3-year contract is nowhere near like 4 or 5 year deal, bruv. Yeah,
but it's 3 years.
But your wage they can't demand as high wages if he's on a 5-year contract, which he was the first time round with Lampard.
It's 3 years on the regular contract wages he's on.
No, it's 2 years with an extension of a year. His contract, his contract extension. His contract is 2 years, bruv. Plus
the year that they are going to extend.
That's 3 years.
So it's 3 years.
Yes, I've just said 3 years, bruv. You're saying more than that.
You said 2 years.
I said 2 years with the extension, which they're going to add on, bruv.
Yeah,
so that's 3 years. Yeah. So 3-year deal is better. You're going to get a better price on a player on a 3-year deal than a 4 or 5 year deal.
He's not leaving for those 3 years. That's the point.
Nah, he won't. Of course he will. Of course he will.
No, he's not. Why? Why will he? Why will he?
Because he wants to leave now. He wants to leave
on a contract.
Did you not, Lewis? Did you not hear what he said? What he said, I can't remember who it was. He said, I want to win trophies now. I want to win trophies. He's not going to win trophies at West Ham. He wants to leave now.
That's great and all, but he is on
Sadio Mane said he wants to play for Real Madrid.
The point that he's not signing a contract tells you that he wants to go.
Oh my God.
He's not going to go, though.
He will.
The question is not, does Rice want to leave or not? The question is, will West Ham let him go? West Ham will not let him go. They will not.
Where is Kane? Where's the Kane? How did not Kane join Man City? How Kane did not join Man City?
That's Levy, bro. That's different. He's a different breed, that fella.
No, it's showing what is likely to happen, because this is what's going to happen with West Ham.
Hang on, let Jem go on.
1 second. I just want to say it as clearly as this. If West Ham do not get European football, which I think they will quite easily, actually, then Declan Rice will leave the football club. If he does get European football, he will stay. And if people want to buy him, they're not selling him for any less than 100 million because they're in European football and they're going to be buying players to make themselves
right. And he's not paying that. Chelsea are not going to pay that. So why do we think it's going to happen? Because Rice wants to leave.
Dimitri Payet, that's exactly why.
He left because he
didn't want to play for Madrid.
He can't leave because he's valued too high by the football club. They're not just going to let him go for a ping.
Jem, you're missing the point. On a 3-year deal, they can't value him like that. He's not valued like that.
Nathaniel, you said something about Payet. Payet is a completely different thing because he wanted to move back to France. He wanted to move Spain and Italy, but he wanted to move back to France because he was homesick.
Declan Rice wants to come to Chelsea.
No. That's not the difference with the Payet deal. The difference with the Payet deal is they pulled him out of the squad because of it. Rice, they know he wants to leave, but they're going to keep him playing, and he's one of their best players. So they're not going to get rid of him.
Can I come in? You guys ready to accept that we can miss out on both these players? Is anyone willing to accept that? You guys are just trying to think both players are going to come.
Rice, baby. Rice, baby.
I've been waiting to say this.
Rice.
I wanted to address what Jem said before. When we're comparing those players, right? I had to compare with the partnership with Cover. Cover to me was more closer to Tchouameni stats. That's why I was favoring a little bit Rice. But you guys aren't even. You guys are talking about like these guys are begging to come to Chelsea, and we're going to get him 100%. Man United can get Rice, and PSG or Real Madrid can get Tchouameni. We can miss out on these players, and you guys are still stuck on who's the better deal.
Rice going to Manchester United. Makes them a completely better side. 100%.
Johnny.
For that type of player.
Why Tchouameni's value doubled is because Real Madrid is sniffing around for him. That's
exactly. Why. So they sniffed him for Rice as well, Lewis.
But you can negotiate it.
Right.
We're not going to
pay 100 million.
You know,
And
but
Man
by
United
that
No,
time,
but
if
they
those
might
clubs
do
are
everyone
sitting
over
around-
like Kipper
No,
and
they
sign
won't, they
Kante,
won't.
Yeah,
bruv.
they might do it. That's
They
what
might
I'm
sign
saying.
Kante.
Hey,
Johnny,
Declared,
Johnny,
can I
if Man
answer you
United
really
are
quick?
sniffing around for Declan Rice, they can easily
Rams.
bump up that price to 120 million pounds.
Rams.
Yeah, they
They're not
might
gonna
do
do
it,
that,
bruv. It might
Rams.
happen,
Let
bruv.
me-
It
let
might
me-
Which is
happen.
why
Let
it's
me-
like
And United, the
doesn't go
Glazers won't pay
anywhere.
that. The Glazers won't pay that. It's a Chelsea win. They'll get the better
Bro, the
Everyone else
price.
is
Glazers said they
leaving.
Oh
wouldn't
yeah,
pay
because
money
we're
for
gonna
signing
spend
him.
that 120 million.
Lewis.
We're
Listen,
gonna sign
we
him
get
70 million.
Lukaku out. We sell Lukaku. We'll have the funds, bruv, to
Oh.
get all of them, bruv.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
let's have it right.
Let me
Lukaku.
answer you
Lukaku.
really quick. Declared.
You're
Hey,
getting
don't
20
bring
grand a
up
week for
competition.
that, lad.
Don't bring
Are you
up
having a
Lukaku in this
laugh?
conversation, bro.
Come
No,
on,
don't
man.
do
Get
it.
Lukaku out of it. Lukaku's
Come
good, man.
on,
Lukaku's
bruv.
good.
Wait.
Not today,
Man,
Jeb. I'm not
Lukaku's
gonna
good.
respond to it.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
just
wait.
gonna
Lukaku's
let it
No,
good,
wait.
man.
slide.
Just as a little,
I'm just gonna let it
just as a
slide.
little
Come on,
bit of bait.
Johnny, man. Lukaku's good.
Just as a little bit of bait. Like we know the
Lukaku's
Lukaku
terrible, bruv.
comments and everything in interviews about talking about
Oh,
an
here
next
you
club.
go again.
Can
I
we
love
talk about
Chelsea, but I love Inter Milan more. I love
Can we
Chelsea,
talk
but
about
I love
Mason
Inter
Mount's
Milan more,
comments
bruv.
about Portsmouth, please?
Yeah, he loves
What about him,
Portsmouth,
bruv? He's from
Portsmouth.
Portsmouth.
Did he say he
He's
loves
not, so he's
Portsmouth?
not
Lukaku-
minerals
is
then. He's not
Lukaku
minerals.
from Portsmouth,
He's not from
bruv?
London, bruv. He's not
Come
minerals,
on, man.
Is
Come on, man.
Lukaku from
No minerals at all, Johnny,
from
man.
Inter
No
Milan?
I'm
minerals.
just throwing a little bit of bait
Johnny,
out
he
there
ain't
to
got
stir the
minerals, man.
Yeah,
conversation.
you want to
London,
wind
innit?
Johnny up, bruv. That's all
Let's
you
have
want.
a little talk, bro. Let's have a
Listen,
little
he's
talk.
proper Chelsea's captain, and you're gonna have to
He
sip
ain't
it
proper,
in,
he's
mate.
not from London,
He
Johnny.
chose Portsmouth over Chelsea, bruv. He said it's
He's
Listen,
proper
Come on,
content.
Oh,
Johnny.
dear.
We know he's a fraud, man.
Johnny,
We
man.
know he's a bushman.
listen. Let's have it right. You can't change where you're from, bruv, and that's your roots, bruv. Yeah.
So he's not
You
from
telling me?
Portsmouth.
Are you telling me Lampard and Terry supported Chelsea as a
Jem.
kid?
Now they
Jem, can I say
support West
something?
Ham,
Jem.
innit?
There you go,
I
bruv.
don't
You know
know
what I'm
the answer to
saying?
that
Yeah.
one.
They speak about Lukaku.
Who did they support? And you're going to come at Money Mace, bruv, who's our future
Yo,
captain,
Jem.
legend.
But he's
I need
not
to
What a
come
from
on.
comment.
Johnny.
What a
Johnny's
comment,
not
Right.
Interceptor.
I
What a
rather
comment.
midfielder came from Chelsea that
Yeah,
supports
you
Jem.
West
bumlick
Ham
that
right
fella,
now.
didn't you, Alex? You bumlick him, mate.
Yo, wait.
You love it,
Wait.
bruv.
What did you
Lukaku, yeah?
say?
I
He
said you
said in
bumlick that fella, didn't you?
Who?
He loves that fella, doesn't he? He knows who I'm talking
Jorginho.
about.
Yeah, what?
Who?
Jorginho.
Nah,
I'm hella
bruv.
confused, you know.
Move on, bruv.
About
Yo,
Johnny.
Lukaku, yeah?
You're
I'm
not
talking about
switched
Lukaku.
Hey,
on.
you
You're
man
not
in the
switched on,
comment
man.
section, let me stir
Oh,
the pot
yeah.
a little bit. Stop getting
No.
triggered. Come on, man.
No,
No, wait,
stop.
Lukaku, yeah. He said in an interview that he's as good as Lukaku, Lewandowski, Kane, and Haaland, all those strikers. And I think he's right. Lukaku is on their level. Yes, he's having a bad season, but if
On
we
whose
change
level?
our system, Lewandowski, Benzema, I should not.
Careful, bro.
You're gonna
Careful,
laugh,
man.
bruv.
No,
You're
wait.
gonna laugh,
Think of it.
mate.
Think of it.
Come on, mate. What
Johnny,
are you watching
Johnny.
here?
Johnny.
You
Fucking
break
hell.
up the
This is
stream and
Wait.
this is good.
Hey,
This become a comedy
dropping some
stream,
jokes.
bruv.
It's Kane. Wait. It's Kane.
You
It's
got
Kane
jokes,
against Lukaku.
mate. You got jokes, mate. I'll give
No,
you
I'm
that.
serious. It's
Johnny,
Kane
it's been a
against Lukaku.
comedy stream since you come on, man.
Is it really,
And
Nick?
the
You
other
better
one
jog
who
on then.
told
You shouldn't.
And the
Yeah,
other one who
jog on,
talks
mate.
shit is
It's
you.
Jog
Kane
on,
against
mate.
Let's
Lukaku.
down, fam, right there. There for you. Jim, if we
And
win
it's a
the Europa League,
possibility
Rice
they
is
can
down
win the
to
Europa
Spain.
as well.
We're in top 4 race. We ain't fighting for mid-table. We are fighting for Champions League football. Why would my
They're
club
cacking the
sell it?
same bracket as
Thank
Lewandowski.
you. Thank you, Jem.
You're
Jem,
having a
if
laugh.
there is a possibility they could win Europa League. There is a possibility.
Yeah, facts. They're going to keep strengthening. Every season, they're going to keep strengthening. They're going to want to keep their best players. Declan Rice will be a Chelsea player eventually, hopefully. But it won't be next summer.
Forget it.
I don't
He's
think.
not coming to
personally.
Chelsea.
But not anytime soon.
Get
No,
me
anytime
rice,
soon,
rice,
no.
baby.
Rice is not coming.
Rice,
Get your rice
baby.
to Tesco's.
baby.
Get
Don't
rice,
say
rice,
it's
We don't need
rice,
that
baby.
rice. I keep
Rice.
telling you.
rice,
Go Asda
rice,
and get your
rice.
rice from there.
Shit.
Go Nando's if you want rice,
We
man.
have
It's fine.
strawberries.
Gilmore, we
Strawberries
have
and
Gallagher,
cream.
we don't
Get
need
your
that
rice,
Strawberries and cream.
rice, baby.
Yo, when we sign Rice, yeah, I'm gonna get that strawberry and cream. And on the day we sign him, strawberries and cream. Get that
Oh, I
rice,
love
rice,
that.
baby.
Big up,
Some
big up
Haagen
to Chloe.
Dazs,
Big
bruv.
up
Yeah,
to
get
Chloe
some
in the
stones
house.
as
Thank
well.
you for the donation.
we don't need any
Yes,
West Ham rejects.
Do you know what?
Let
Yeah,
Jem
I
read
can't
the super
wait,
chat.
bruv. I
Let
cannot
Jem
wait,
read the
bruv.
super chat,
Till we
Johnny.
sign him,
Johnny,
bruv.
the day
Let him
the
comment.
day he
Let him
comes,
comment.
man.
Super
Hey,
chat, man.
comes,
Super
man.
chat.
Face.
Chloe,
Rice,
The day he
rice,
comes.
Chloe from our group says, "Here's some money to buy some paracetamol after this stream for the headache." Thank you, Chloe. That donation will go to.
Yeah, thanks to Johnny.
My voice is gone, man. My voice is gone.
Big up to Chloe as well, man. Big up to Chloe.
Why do I always get the fucking scapegoat here, bruv? You lot, I'm coming at Johnny all the time, bruv. You can't handle the minerals. That's
Rice
why.
or Jude?
City got Rice as well.
Jude over Rice for sure.
Oh wait, Jem.
I take Jude.
Have you seen Fabrizio's comments?
Mike.
Fabrizio said Chelsea, City, and United all interested in Rice. Like same thing we already know. Nothing's been decided. The price will be super high. What?
Yeah.
Your mic button again.
So, super high, 70 mil. 70 mil. That's what.
It's echoing.
Super
Sorry,
high,
yeah,
over
my
100
bad.
million. Trust me, they're going to want over 100 million for him.
Nathaniel,
Going to.
if
City are in that mix,
70
then it's
four
going to be a
clubs are
proper
going
bidding
in
war.
for him,
70
it's going to
mil.
be a
They was
bidding
gonna say
war
100
over
mil.
100
It's gonna go down
million.
70
Too
mil.
high.
I bet we're not getting nothing, bro. I'll tell you
No.
that
The
Hey,
funny
Khalid,
part,
Khalid, watch
the
it.
funny part is, I said it before. Chelsea were more interested in Tchouaméni always more than Rice, because first of all, we didn't put in a clause into the Rice contract when they let him go. That's one thing. Why we didn't put?
Yeah, he was 8. He was
reseller?
8. Of course, they're not gonna do it.
14. It's 14.
Oh, 14, whatever. Why
No,
would they
don't
do
say
that?
whatever, bro. Your point's irrelevant. Shut the fuck up and let Alex land. I'm tired of you guys.
My
Khalid,
point is,
Khalid, watch your mouth. Hey, Khalid, watch your mouth, man. Watch your mouth.
Go.
Peter Cech went to actually watch Tchouaméni. He's actually on board to actually sign Tchouaméni more than Rice. Then we have two midfielder, Gallagher, that coming in to actually play at Chelsea. He's not going anywhere. Since he'd been on Broja this year, everybody all of a sudden wants Broja. Broja will be at Chelsea next summer too. What's his name? Gilmore is going on loan. That's a fact. He's going on loan. There won't be a place for him unless we sell two midfielders. I think what's going to happen is Jorginho is not going to sign extension. I have more hope of Kante to sign a contract extension than Jorginho.
Broja's been after Simon Phillips today, bruv. He's been sounded out by Dortmund especially, and clubs around Europe.
You see,
so Broja might not be here.
Go on, go.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is it depends on how many midfielders we lose. But we're going to sign one. It's definitely. But I don't think we Chelsea...
If we sign both, we get
declare. I agree with you on the how we stats player versus player. But the money part, I know you don't like it, but the money part, it is a big influence in it. It is a big influence. It's a massive influence.
I mean, if we sign both players, I mean Jorginho and Kante.
No. I actually see more point what Carl is saying, that we are signed to Tchouaméni this season and Rice in the next season or two, because if he's not signing an extension contract move, that's the only time we can sign.
It's what you think the player's worth, you'll pay. If Chelsea think the player's worth,
it's not true. They gotta consider the wage bill.
Hold on, let me ask Johnny. Johnny, you said that the value of a player from 5-year contract to 3-year contract is a big difference, right?
Of course it is.
Well, you're wrong. It's not actually.
It's not now, is it?
No. I didn't say that you're right. I asked if you said that, and you did say that. But what I'm saying is the value of the player goes down on 2-year contract. That's when he resigns the contract. When
it goes down
to 2
by
years.
each year, bruv. Each year it will go down.
Oh, can I just add something?
If you say that it's your opinion, but the way market working, I can tell you how it worked with Tottenham and Kane.
All I'm saying, is that it's what you're prepared to pay for a player. Like, no player's worth what you pay, yeah? But it's what you're prepared to pay for.
Right, two things really quickly. Ben, thank you for the donation. He says, you panel are pure entertainment. Big ups. Big up to Jeremy as well. He said, I'd rather Chelsea sign Rice than come to United, but it's sad that he will be signed by United. And can I just add one more thing as well? Another big thing in this that we haven't actually spoke about as well is that we're interested in Jules Koundé. Jules Koundé's agent is the same agent as Tchouaméni. And Chelsea have apparently a very, 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 very,
and
very
another quick, Jim, quick. Another thing, AC Monaco's owner is Roman Abramovich's best friend.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Bear that
in mind when it comes to agents.
Get your Rice at
and Jem, and we can look at what Arsenal have done
with
Edu, because a lot of the players that they bought are best friends. They got a good relationship.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Chelsea get Jules Koundé in the summer. They want to get Tchouaméni. They've got a great relationship.
That's the reason we're letting Milano go.
Us with the Red Bull clubs. Yeah, it's the same.
Hey, Jem.
Yeah.
Why have one good midfielder when you can get two? We're getting both. Tchouaméni and Rice.
Not now.
Wait, what?
Now the wage bill is already too high. We already have a high wage bill.
But
Jem, I got enough off. Yeah, I'll speak to you later, bro.
See you later, mate.
Rice is on 150 now. Rice is on 150 now.
I'll only come for you. Please, don't go.
Go on, Nick. Go.
Yeah. You eventually saw me here.
Sorry,
anyway,
mate, it's been a bit hectic today.
Yeah, no. Forget all the joke. We've been joking a lot, So
yeah,
it was a good laugh. But come to the serious part now. I don't think Chelsea will go for Declan Rice in the summer. It's not just the price. It's not our sort of player. I don't think he's our sort of player for some reason. I think Chouameni is more wanted by Tuchel than Rice. That's why I don't think we're going to go for it. And I think United will probably get it before we even think about it, really. That's about...
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Can I just ask a quick question? Big up Nick Blue, by the way. Respect to you, my G always. But quick question for everyone. Anyone can answer. Do you think that Conte can go back into that Jorginho role once Jorginho leaves, or is that over for him?
No, we need to be.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
It's not DM role. Defensive
Jorginho's so we're going to be fine.
No one can do it.
Not trying to interrupt. Someone's mic is echoing.
Yeah,
someone's gone crazy.
Yeah, I
think Showtime.
Showtime. What do you?
No, that's not me. That's not me either, man.
No,
that's not me.
It's all right.
Yeah, I was saying, do you think that Conte could go back into that DM role when Jorginho goes?
Respectfully, Conte's.
I don't think so. I mean,
you said he's burnt.
Yeah, the echo's still there.
The echo's still there.
It's Nick Blue. I can see it. He's lighting up.
I'm on mute.
No, I've just muted you now. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, it's gone away.
There we go.
Sorry, mate. You had to be muted. Listen,
Showtime, no one
you say that again, Showtime.
Go on.
I said that. Do you guys think that Conte could go into that role of Jorginho, like the DM role or the holding role?
Nah, he
What, a
can't.
double pivot or like a holding?
It's an echo again.
He's not a sitter. He's a presser.
Yes,
So,
and at the same
he's
time,
only good in that position against teams that park the bus.
Yeah.
Teams that press him, he's going to get dominated. So I wouldn't play him against the likes of fucking Arsenal, City, Liverpool.
Lewis, it also doesn't answer our issue, which is actually having someone that can progressively move the ball forward. If you put Kante there, yeah, he will do a job in terms of interceptions, but in terms of picking the ball up and being quick with it, moving it.
That's what Kante can do.
Guys, can I ask a topic, right?
Moving the ball forward.
I was gonna quickly
and they can dribble very well.
Nathaniel, if it's about Rice to Chouameni, just end it because I want to actually talk about players like Broha because recently he's been eyed by big clubs. A lot of big clubs are eyeing on him. So my question is, do you think he'll break through, or do you think should we be planning to bring him in next season?
He has to be bringing in next season.
Hassan, I want to get
Arsenal fans wanting Broha, and I can't deal with it. So I need all of these. I need us to get him straight away next season. Back into the team.
Everybody mute yourself when you're not talking.
I can't deal with Arsenal.
It's not my mic, Jeff. It's someone else's.
Yeah, what I'd say is when you
can't deal with
yeah.
I can't deal with Arsenal fans saying, "Oh, Broha, let's get him in." When he's a Chelsea player, we need to keep. I want to see him in a Chelsea starting lineup.
I need to take responsibility for that because
Arsenal ain't going near him. They can keep looking.
I'm responsible for Arsenal.
By the way, talking about non-existent rumors, he literally just signed a contract with Chelsea.
He literally just signed a contract
extension. I just think he could be another Sturridge, man, like another great prospect.
No.
He's Sturridge. What?
He's
no, not like player, but like caliber player.
No.
I'm not even trying to.
Unlike Sturridge, Broha has strength, he has pace, he has shooting.
No one's making any sense. We can't hear
it. Not the exact player, the caliber of player in terms of
what's his caliber
in world football.
What's his caliber?
Sturridge is a baller.
Rams, let me get these two things off.
You might acting like Sturridge was a bum back in the day. Sturridge was sick.
Hold on, one second. Nathaniel, what are you doing personally messaging me in the chat? Don't make me turn this shit personal. Number two, Hassan, no, just stop. Number two, Hassan, to answer you, I think Tuchel wants to keep Broha. The problem is we have Lukaku and we have someone behind what, Nathaniel? What?
Shut up, bro. You need to shut up.
No, don't tell me to chill out when you're in the chat saying chill out, bro.
Let him finish, bro. Let him finish.
Bro, you like some of you have the audacity between you, Johnny. You guys talk a lot of shit in the chat, and then when someone confronts you about it, you act like a pussy. On to Hassan. I'm not here to do a personal beef, bro. Keep my name out of your mouth. On to Hassan. Like I was saying, I think Tuchel plans to integrate Broha into the team, but Lukaku is obviously the main man. Obviously, behind Lukaku,
let's not bring old stuff.
His anger.
Thank you.
Look at him.
Let him finish. Just let him finish.
You're saying his anger, and you're the only one waffling like a kid, bro. What do you want to say, Daniel? Go ahead, since you want to interrupt. What do you want to say? What do you want to say, bro?
Just I muted him. Go on.
Thank you. Go. Like I said, I'm sorry, Hassan. To answer your question again, Broha will be behind Havertz and Lukaku. So I don't think he's going to get integrated into the team this year, which is a problem because if a team comes in with enough money, I believe the club will sell him. We do it very often with some of our most talented youngsters.
I don't have a problem selling him as long as we have a buyback clause.
No, I agree, but I'm saying like based on how the club operates.
It depends which club. It depends which club too.
I agree.
Alex, I don't think anyone's going to go for that though.
What do you mean? Southampton really got 40 M's right now.
Yeah, Southampton are willing to spend that big money.
No, with the buyback clause is what I'm talking about.
They're ready. I think he will go. We're going to let him go. You watch.
It's because Lukaku. The reason why is because
Lukaku. I'm not playing with you.
We need to get him back.
We have Havertz.
Hey, listen, on the same night. Hold on. On the same night, I saw Broja. Southampton
I'm sorry,
versus Man
but
United.
you need to remove that guy. That guy's literally targeting guy in the private chat.
Nathaniel's literally targeting me in the chat, being a little kid, bro. And then if I
wait, you need to move me, Alex. What's your agenda, man? What's your agenda?
You know my agenda. If I'm gonna bring the old stuff, you said it before.
Nathaniel, I know how old you are, bro. I don't want to put your age out there, but you better grow up, bro. Honestly.
Thank you, Rams. I'm older than you, little kid.
Bro, we're having a discussion here. Don't act like a kid.
We're trying to have a discussion. I don't know what's going on here. What's wrong with you, lot?
I don't know, guys. I promise you, in moving forward, I will just not have anyone on. I'm getting to that point. If you don't have respect for each other, we're talking about.
It doesn't make sense. No one can hear what anyone's saying.
Why are we going all personal?
Jem, you've had me on the stream multiple times. You know how respectful I am. For me to get this upset, you know what's going on. People are disrespecting me privately.
Just relax and let's just move on. And I don't want to hear no more personal shit. If you do, gone. Cut. I'm cutting now. Like literally, that's it. Go.
Can I jump in?
Go on,
I was going to say it's the same night, and this is why I want Broja back. So same night was Southampton versus Man United. Broja bossed it. He did everything that Lukaku did, plus better. He is such a big boy, and he was more physical and more hungry, and he dominated that Man United backline. Then in a couple hours later, we watched the Club World Cup, and Lukaku probably had a decent game compared to all these bad games, and that's not saying much. And it goes to show you the biggest difference. There's a 9-year age gap, 100 mil, and that's what we're dealing with here. How do we not get Broja back? When you compare both players, the same performance, same night.
Broja
and Lukaku's and Palmeiras isn't that. You don't compare that to EPL teams. You can boss those teams.
Forget
Broja. Defenders.
He's a good player, but he's not ready for Chelsea.
My second question was to Don. Do you think?
Ready.
Do you guys think that his family is also putting pressure on him to move? Because there is a few influences, reports saying that his dad is telling him to stay at Southampton or stuff like that.
Well, it's better for him to develop.
If he doesn't get game time,
he should have never signed that.
He won't have the future at Chelsea. He'd be on the bench all the time, and he ain't gonna like.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask everybody a question? For example, what if, for example, like we know we have a dead forwards, right? What do you think if we sell somebody instead of buying somebody, just keep Broja? Would you all be okay with
that? Would work. That's definitely a good idea. It saves us money as well.
If you guys are worried about losing 100 mil on Lukaku, Broja will make 100 mil.
Stop it! I don't know how you compare Broja to Lukaku. He's not proven. Broja's not proven.
Comparing Mount to Lukaku.
I'm not saying Lukaku. I'm saying any forwards. Pulisic. I'm just saying any person.
Every time someone brings it up, I want to compare Broja.
Yes, Broja's better than Tammy. Wait, listen, it happened with Tammy as well. He wanted to keep him. It worked for a year, and then after that, he was too young and inexperienced. He had to move on. Broja, of course, he's better than Tammy, but in 2 years, 3 years, I'm not sure if he's gonna I'm not sure.
He has. He's not on the
It
level.
wasn't about experience. It was about his
He'd be on the
ability.
bench
He just wasn't
Contract.
good
It
enough.
was about money and contracts with Tammy.
Tammy wasn't good enough for us.
You know,
I mean, he got
He
15
was
goals in the first
6'5"
season.
and he couldn't head the ball.
Yeah, Lewis, he got 15 goals there in the first season.
Yeah,
I think
he got 7 in 3 games and then 3 for the rest of the season.
The most important thing with Broja is whether he can handle the pressure of being Chelsea's front.
Of course, he can handle the pressure. Have you seen him? Have you seen him?
Bro, we've seen
He
young
plays for
kids
Southampton.
ball out
What
at Southampton and then they just crumble
He's
when
not
they
a
go to
passionate
big
mate.
clubs.
Well, I saw
Hold
Luke
on a
fall
second.
under the pressure and make an interview. That's what I saw.
No. Look
Declare, I think you're on cloud 10, man.
Look at Villa player. Look at Villa player that went from Villa to Grealish. Yeah, look at Grealish.
He's got a ponytail in his head.
No. I'm just trying to say the point that Ram's trying to make it. Like it's a big step. The perform for what's the name for them versus for top team. Look at Grealish.
Minamino looked like a player at Southampton, and now when he comes to play for us, he doesn't look that great.
You compare Southampton to Chelsea.
Guys,
You really compare
can
Minamino's brother.
You give the guy leeway.
Can I say one thing to add to that, right? I was gonna quickly say, right, Jamie, like players like look at Leicester, teams like that, right? They don't really get looked upon in terms of the players' mistakes, the pressures and stuff like that. They, like a lot of our people don't analyze them as properly as we do. But when they come to Chelsea, sorry about the background noise, but when they come to the Chelsea, right, they look at individual mistakes, pressures will there. Like a loss at Chelsea is different to a loss at like a smaller team. A loss could be you being out of the title. Like every chance you have to take at Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. And Hassan, it's the same at Germany. Like people forget, people at Germany, they don't really go at their young kids. The media don't do it. Like it's totally different from England, and that's what I'm saying. I think he could be a proper player. I think he's a very, very good player. But it's down to him whether he can perform at a Chelsea standard. Like he's all good doing it for Southampton, but if he can do it at Chelsea, then great for him. But if he can't, then it's going to be a struggle. And
These youth players have to understand that everybody can't be a Mount. Everybody can't just come in and perform like Mason Mount. It's
at
not
the
possible.
same club level.
You can't do it. Roger needs his time. If he has to sit behind Lukaku and learn, he has to do that.
Can I ask the whole chat? I want to ask you guys because pretty much this whole divulged because we're talking about who do we want primarily in the summer, yeah? So Rams, just for this one, just for a moment, sit this one out for a bit. To all the Chelsea fans, who are our 3 main primary targets that must come in the summer? I'm going to answer first. I believe Koundé.
Let me start with that one. Yeah,
let him go,
let me come, man. What's wrong with you? I'm going to come and throw you.
Callie, listen. Callie asked the question. He was going to say what he's going to say, and then we'll go on to you. Just let him say who's
God, man. I've been here 1 hour, Jed, but I can't even talk. What's the point?
I can't.
Let Callie finish, man.
How do you think I feel?
Say it to him.
Go on, Callie. Let's go.
Say it to him. Move on.
Listen, keep it quick, short, and sweet. Koundé, Chouameni, and then we got to switch a forward out. I would say Broha for Werner, and I'm going to leave it at that. You guys are going.
He knows ball. Listen, I'm saying Dembele, he has to come in. He's the best. He'll be the best winger in the Premier League, better than Salah. Koundé,
Pulisic with 5-star week.
Don't bring Salah into
Wait. Let me finish, man. So Koundé for defense. What's it called? I'm leaning towards Rice in summer. Yes, I'm realistic. As Lewis said, I'm realistic. Cool. But Chelsea, you never know, man. We can literally just sign a player, and we'll be shocked and surprised. So hopefully we can get Rice in summer.
Yeah, I would say Tchouameni, Koundé, and Rafinha, but that's just my guilt pleasure. So yeah, there you go on that one.
Go ahead.
Can I go now? Anyone want a wing back?
Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I wanted a wing back, but I just don't know.
I want a wing back. I don't care which one. I want a defensive midfielder. I don't care Rice or Tchouameni. And I will, if we sell in somebody in forward line, doesn't matter if it's Pulisic, Werner, Lukaku, or whoever. Just keep Broja instead of buying anybody.
Instead of what?
Let me answer you.
Let Nick answer. Right. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Look, first of all, we have to get players out to even think about who's coming in. And for me, I think Werner it looks like he's going to go. Well, that's one. I'm not sure about the rest, but that's one attacker. We need another Forget. Don't mention like. Stop taking the piss, man. Lukaku's he's here to stay. So you have to get used to it. He's not going nowhere.
How long can he stay away from Italy, Nick? He's
not going nowhere.
Anyway, bring up Italy.
Anyway, who are your free players? I've got to go. Hurry up. No, who's your free player?
They got the Geordie problem, I think. Yeah. I will bring Koundé for sure, Tchouaméni, and another right wing back. But I'm not sure who. But I'll be glad if they get another, like Alex said. We need the
Lukaku.
Nathaniel.
I'm going to make you Lukaku. Shut up.
Stop it.
I would say Koundé is for sure. Everybody knows Koundé needs to come in. Tchouaméni is probably a key. And I feel like we need to address our wingback situation, like everybody else said. I don't know which wingback, but bring in somebody for the cover. And Lukaku's here to stay because he scored goals for us. So that's it.
Thank you for answering my question.
Guys,
respectfully and civilly.
Can I quickly ask you guys, would you take a utility player? So
what's this guy on utility? What are you on about? We're not Liverpool. Utility like Milner. What are you on about?
Nathaniel, let me learn, bro. Come on.
Now don't let Rams like
utility. What's this guy on about?
We already have Mount as utility player. We don't know.
What I mean, not the exact player.
Rams, you're gonna get smashed in.
But James, like a James Milner who can play centre mid, right wing back, and left.
It's not losable.
We're not passionate.
That's probably Koundé though.
That's not a bad idea.
Not the exact, not James Milner, but a player like him, but younger.
We're not passion matches, man.
By the way, Koundé can play right wing back. Koundé can play right wing back.
Guys, can Jem read our super chat now?
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to shoot anyway, but let's quickly answer this super chat. Who would you keep? Pulisic. For me, it's Pulisic. I'm keeping Pulisic, not Joe, but there you go.
You're going to get rid of the homegrown player?
Joe's finished, man. He can't do it.
I don't know, to be honest. Pulisic's got more ability, but he's just going to keep getting injured.
He hasn't got injured yet.
He's not injured yet, but the more we play him, he's going to get one eventually.
I'd rather have a possibility of injury versus a dead wood.
I know, but that's the other way around. Cho hasn't shown enough either. I don't know.
You're going to get rid of
him. I think Pulisic is going to leave anyhow. I think
he wants to go. You can see it in his eyes. He's not happy.
All right, cool. Anyway, guys, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel as always. We've been on here for over 2 hours. Go and check out Carefree Lewis G's channel if you haven't already. Go and follow him as well.
He needs to add some new
with Crazy Stream, I will try and some people message me saying you've got to try and calm people down, and that I'll have to try and maintain that a bit better, but it's hard. But at the end of the day, we all
calm Alex down.
Our football club.
You're pro Rams.
We move. I'll be back Thursday. I'll be back probably Thursday. So big up everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you again soon. Peace out.
We love you, Marina.
Resign Christensen.
I ran. Come backstage.